in Ashes history were despised by the opposition more than Douglas Jardine. He was the granite-jawed architect of the notorious 1932 Bodyline series, which sent shockwaves through the sport that still reverberate nearly a century later. One day, the hurricane met the tornado as Jardine met Yabba. As the name suggests, Yabba, real name Stephen Harold Gascoigne, was a heckler who became so famous that a statue was made of him. When Jardine was on the boundary swatting away some flies, Yabba yelled the immortal line, "Jardine, leave our flies alone. They're the only friends you've got here." Like Jardine before him, Stuart Broad is another figure who had a particular gift for riling the Aussie public, mainly due to his jaw-dropping survival at Trent Bridge in 2013, when he very visibly nicked off to slip and refused to walk. King. He officially became a sorcerer in 2023 when his random bail swaps twice bought a wicket with the next ball at the Oval. 3 tests earlier, after that Carey Bairstow run-out, Broad made sure he was right in the thick of the pantomime. Wicketkeeper Ian Healy issued one of the great lines towards Nasser Hussain. When Steve Ward told Ricky Ponting to field right under Hussain's nose, Healy remarked, "That could be anywhere within a 3-mile radius." Poor Nass. But perhaps the most poetic of sledges came from bowler of lightning bolts Dennis Lillee about the Yorkshireman of Yorkshiremen, Geoffrey Boycott, about whom Lillee wrote this: "He's the only fellow I've met who fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since." Priceless.
Okay, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark's Real Sale. It's the UK's biggest used car sale, and it is on now. Check out arnoldclark.com. I'm Alan McCoist, and joining me for the next hour is this man who incidentally is struggling with his headphones.
Oh, what a goal, by the way. You've got to see that. Oh, wow, wow, wow.
How's the bacon, did you say?
He comes into the central area. It's pushed away back to Curtis Davis. It comes off the post and he whacks it home. And Hull City have raced into a 2-goal lead. And Curtis Davis has scored after 8 minutes to make it Hull City 2, Arsenal 0 in the Cup final. Steve Bruce could barely contain his delight.
Andy Robertson. He's Billy Whiz. I said Billy Whiz? Who's Billy Whiz?
He wants us to play in pink dresses and in fairy outfits. He's entitled to his opinion. I mean, is it a drug? I'm not too quite sure that's the right phrase.
Steve Bruce, 10 goals this season, 7 of them from the penalty spot. He's got it, 90 go into the lead. Steve Bruce chalks up goal number 11.
Yes. Just the 10 major trophies are playing to get Birmingham and Haaland to the Premier League twice each. It is, of course, a very, very good morning to Steve Bruce. Brucey.
Good morning, sir.
How are you? You've got the headphones on. It's
Well,
oh, see the wee ones straight away. I've got an ear infection. Can't use them.
Is that right?
Nightmare.
Oh, so
Nightmare.
now you tell me. So I'm fine now. Absolutely fine. That's perfect.
Good. How you been? Tell me what you've been up to.
Well, I've been in the Caribbean for 2-3 weeks, as you do. As you do. So I've only been back 3, 4, 5 days.
How was it?
Fabulous. Little island of Mystique was terrific.
Oh, mate.
And we did a bit of Barbados too, and then I came. Then I did Everton Monday night.
How was it?
So, and Everton's the stadium.
It seemed Leeds look. I only saw the highlights, Brucey. It looked as though Leeds excellent first half.
Leeds were terrific first half, and Everton were disappointed. Moisey changed it and matched them up a little bit. Went 3 centre backs and got after them a bit more, and were better second half. That's for sure. But for anybody whoever hasn't been to the stadium and have a look,
Tell them I've not been yet.
What a magnificent stadium it is. Terrific.
Is it?
Absolutely wonderful arena. Yeah.
I was at the thing, man. I was at the last game at Goodison, and it was a brilliant day. Absolutely fantastic day. Brucey, all the ex-Everton boys were there, and a lot of them had been to it. They said the stadium. Andy Gray, for example, said the stadium was out of this world. Still haven't been, believe it or not.
Oh, have you not been?
I've seen Everton this season, but I haven't.
It's been built where it's as steep as you possibly can. So it's a bit like Dortmund, you know, where they're all really, really steep. It's very, very difficult if you're at the top floor to get up the stairs. But yeah, very, very good. Absolutely, very impressed.
So I'm just as, if not more, interested in the Caribbean. Good trip. Just great.
Oh, then no,
chill. You completely chill.
Yeah, just absolutely. It's one of those, isn't it, where you totally chill. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know
Sun shines every day.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Do you know when I went, Brucey, one time? You obviously got all the bigger ones of Barbados and Jamaica and all that stuff. I went to St Kitts and Nevis.
Oh, lovely.
Oh man, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's we've quite enjoyed having a little time away, and
good.
I do a little bit of island hopping, which you can do. So Mystique's a little bit special too. I should keep that quiet really, because it's a bit of a quiet island, but a bit different.
Do you fish? No.
No, not at all.
Brucey, man. No. Come on. Now, we're going to find out how many English sides head straight into the last 16 of the Champions League tonight. Do you like the new format? Oh, no.
Yeah.
You've not turned into Jeff already, have you? Jeff hates it, man.
Does he?
Oh, he hates it.
Well, I haven't really studied it until yesterday, and I'm coming down on the train and thinking, how does this actually work? And it's the first time I've really looked at it, that the top 8 obviously qualify, and then if you finish at the top 3 or 4, you're guaranteed your second leg at home, aren't you? So there's big advantages of it, isn't there? So there's some big games tonight.
Some great games tonight. I mean, particularly I'm looking at Napoli, Chelsea, the strange one, actually, tonight, I think it's PSG.
Newcastle.
A draw's no good for either of them.
No.
I think the two of them could get caught with a draw. I'm saying it's no good, but it could work out that way.
Yeah, I think they have to win, so it should be a great game.
And obviously, I think Chelsea have got a tough win at Napoli.
Oh, that's going to be a little bit spicy too, with Conte, and
absolutely.
he definitely want to do well.
And
how well has he done? He's done fantastically well again. Incredible manager.
And on top of that, what about McTominay?
Oh my gosh, he's the king of Napoli, isn't he?
The king everywhere, king of Glasgow, Edinburgh, Napoli.
Well, the goal he scored for Scotland, the overhead scissor kick, is as good a goal as you're ever going to see. So he's done fantastically well, hasn't he? Incredible. Absolutely fantastically well.
We're doing a few of the games, but I'm in the studio tonight, and particularly for this night, Bruce, it's brilliant, mate.
Oh, I bet
You're
it
in
is.
there, you've got all the tellies in front of you, so you've got the best part of 16 televisions. You're covering. I mean,
is it just going from goal to goal? Is it one of them ones?
Effectively,
I quite like that show.
I enjoy it, mate.
Yeah.
I think we've each got 3 or 4 games to kind of keep an eye on. So I'm in with Stevie G and wee Joe, and you keep your eye on 1 or 2 of the games, but inevitably you're away over here at Frankfurt and things like that. I mean,
you're not really bothered over that side, are you? No,
it's brilliant, mate. However, right here in talkSPORT, we've got PSG versus Newcastle. The loser will probably miss out in the top 8. I think that goes without saying. On talkSPORT 2, it is indeed Napoli versus Chelsea. Only a one will do for the Blues. If they want to reach the last 16, Spurs, of course, travel to Frankfurt, where defeat would leave them in trouble. A lot of games with a lot of things on them, that's for sure. Manchester City host Galatasaray, where even a win might not be enough for Pep's side. It's incredible. And Liverpool host Carrick, so likely to comfortably qualify along Arsenal, who incidentally have been tremendous not to put a foot wrong even in the tournament there at Carrick at the Emirates. What do you think? I mean, I think there's every chance you get 4.
Could you get the lot? Are we being greedy to get the lot if the results weren't for us? And
You could.
And I'm going to be
You could,
disrespectful to Tottenham's fans as well. I didn't realise where they're sitting in the Champions League until I had a look at it. Incredible.
I was at the game, and clearly it's been well documented they've had problems. I did the Dortmund game, and they were brilliant for certainly 45 minutes, and even the second half they were comfortable. I thought they were excellent.
It's incredible because for the last 18 months in the Premier League in particular, they've struggled a little bit. Yeah, but they won a European trophy 18 months ago, and now they're sitting 4th or 5th in the Champions League.
It's incredible, eh?
And they're going to turn over Dortmund the way they did. You just worry about their inconsistency.
That's the
It's
thing.
incredible the way they go up and down so quick.
I mean, in terms of the way they performed in that competition, the Champions League, they've been excellent, but obviously domestically, they've been kind of all over the place, mate. But one manager who will be desperate to qualify for the last 16, obviously new Chelsea boss Liam Senior, but the build-up to the game has been dominated, believe it or not, I don't know if you saw this, by whether Cole Palmer really is homesick, as was reported in The Sun yesterday. Homesick in London, and he fancies a return to Manchester. Here's exactly what the senior had to say regarding those rumours.
There's no reason for an assurance. It's so unrealistic. It's come from nowhere. There's nothing in it. There's no reason to have the conversation. That's where I'm at. Cole is very happy. I've had numerous conversations with him. Our thoughts are on how we can make this team better, how he can improve, and how I can help him, because he loves being here and he wants to be a Chelsea player. You can't stop speculation, but some speculation is so far from the truth, there's no point having a discussion about it.
It's a funny one, Brucey. I saw that headline in the back page, and I thought, you know, sometimes
it's his first difficult thing for Liam, and I had the pleasure of having him as a player at Hull.
What was he like?
And he's he's very, 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 very good. Great lad. Always wanted to be involved. Didn't surprise me that he went down the coaching route.
Can you tell with some of them early on?
Well, he went and took his badges, and I remember him taking his badge in and was always interested in it. And he went and done fantastically well when he worked alongside Wayne at Derby to start with, and then he didn't deserve to lose his job at Hull. He did a terrific job at Hull. That obviously kicks him into Strasbourg, and now he's landed one of the great jobs in Europe. So good luck to him. And now is his first, well, I'm sure he's had it before, but the spotlight now is on arguably his best player, who wants to go back north. Well, he's going to have to handle that speculation very, very quickly. He's handling himself very well in terms of results, and it's the first real challenge he's had, really. And none of us know the truth, really. Only we keep reading the speculation that he's a bit unsettled and this, that, and the other. But
it's a strange one, isn't it?
It's a strange one because he's flying, isn't he? He's a player and a half, isn't he? And unfortunately, he's had a couple of injuries this year, isn't he? It's for the first time. But I'd be amazed because he's a terrific player.
Oh, he's been brilliant.
He's been brilliant for Chelsea. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, the competition though, Brucey, for Thomas Tuchel's squad in that number 10 position is absolutely terrifying. Because unless
I don't think he's going to be a manager who's going to fit somebody in somewhere. No. I think he's going to. Going to meet it head on and say, right, which one do you prefer? Yeah. And we've got a dearth of talent, haven't we, in the number 10 position? Dear me, top players.
Looking at it right now, we were talking about yesterday, funnily enough. I actually think if there was a big game tomorrow, he played Morgan Rogers.
Well, he's never let him down. He looks $1 million at the moment, Morgan Rogers.
And do you know the important thing that you touched on? I think you're absolutely spot on with your assessment. I don't think he'll, for the sake of it, I don't think he'll play a Foden or a Palmer in a wide area and things like that. That ain't happening.
I don't think it'll happen with him now. It's certainly when you analyse his first few England games, he hasn't played anybody where you think he's just accommodating them. Where in the past you could argue that managers have wanted to have their best 11 and find a way to fit them all in. I don't think he's that type. I think he's going to say, I'm going to make my mind up which one's playing at the best of their ability at the particular time, and wouldn't be surprised if Morgan Rogers, but how well has he done? You wouldn't be surprised if he gets the nod because he's done so well.
Some talent in that position in particular, mate. Okay, coming up, we're going to turn our attention to the back page and another Chelsea player, Raheem Sterling. There's a way back to Premier League football. We are going to have a wee discussion about that next. Stay with us, guys. Very good morning to you at 6:14.
And welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast. McCoist and Stevie Bruce with you this morning. Right now, that was a bit of Backstreet Boys there. I had that one covered. The Backstreet Boys to start this Wednesday morning. And I can hear you, Brucey. Why indeed are we playing the Backstreet Boys? Well, for your information, lead singer Nick Carter is 46 young today. 46 years young. Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. Are they American, I'm guessing? Yeah. New York? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I can't give you any more than that, Brucey, but they are indeed from America. What are your favourites, Brucey?
Absolutely.
One of your go-to tunes?
I've never
thought it would be a stick a bit of the Backstreet Boys in the car for you.
I don't think so, Ollie. Do you?
No,
I'm not.
no,
not for me at all. No, they're a boy band, I suppose.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Not for me.
I'm not.
I'll take that other.
I'm not familiar with a lot of their work. So sticking with a bit of music, you're looking for a bit of entertainment on your way home. Here we go. Now look no further than Drive this Thursday from 4 p.m. Andy Goldstein and Dan Bent are welcoming a true global icon into the studio. They'll be joined by the best-selling British solo artist of all time.
Wow.
No, he's not, is he? That's I've been told he is, which is absolutely incredible. A powerhouse with a staggering 16 number one albums, 14 number one singles, and a record-breaking 18 Brit Awards to his name, the incredible Robbie Williams. Now, I was aware that Robbie is a global icon and superstar, but I was not aware of those statistics.
Unbelievable.
That is phenomenal.
I seen a little bit of it yesterday. The breaking news, and when you look at how many singles and I have to say what an entertainer he is.
Oh, brilliant!
I've been 2 or 3, 4, 5 times maybe to go and see him, and he's been absolutely sensational. He doesn't stop, does he? He's in great nick now as well. So,
he's fantastic. We met him over at the draw, World Cup draw in Washington. He came on, Phil enough. He came on Andy and Big Benty's show. And I went along and had half an hour, 45 minutes in a chat, and we catch up with him. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
A great place. He's in a great place. He really is. I went to, this one, JP McManus threw a party. My mate, AP McCoy's my mucker. And he was retired. And JP McManus threw a party for him over in Limerick Way. I've got to tell you, what a party. Right. So I've turned up at his party and I've said to the missus straight away, I'll never be able to take you another party the rest of my life, right? Anyway, Robbie Williams appeared on stage. He was phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
I've had the pleasure to see him a few times, and our Alex tells a great story. Our Alex, we knew the drummer, Carl was his drummer, who Alex got to know because he was a big Birmingham fan. And he went to LA with a few of his mates and ended up playing five-a-side with them, as you do, right? Playing at Robbie Williams' house, as you do. He tells a great story. I can't really get where with the. I think they all bought Brazil shirts as well, so they'd all turned up in Brazil shirts.
Brilliant, man.
And loves the football, huh?
Yeah, Mad Port Vale, isn't it?
Mad Port Vale, yeah.
Which I believe is the only team in that area, I've been told.
Well, the Stoke fans are not going to have it.
Well, the
producers is
he's a
Stoke fan.
Man. He's just turned on the game an evil eye there. Now, Robbie will be playing tracks from his massive new album Britpop alongside some classics. That's Robbie Williams live and drive with Andy and Benty this Thursday from 4 p.m. Katie is back now for a bit of this.
Back page review on talkSPORT.
Yes, I'm here this morning. How are you both doing?
Excellent.
Good. So the back pages, let's start with this actually quite shocking story. Tottenham striker Rando Kolo had a lucky escape after a tyre blowout caused his Ferrari to crash on the M25 motorway. I can confirm them. Him and Wilson Odobert, who both involved. Odobert was basically travelling behind him. They're both fine. But there's lots of photos on the back page, for example, on the Daily Mail of a smashed up Ferrari. On to the Times. This story regarding Raheem Sterling nears Chelsea exit. He's finally set for a move out of the club. And then Tammy Abraham is back at Aston Villa. But let's start with this story in the Mail. Spurs striker Kolo Muani having a lucky escape from this crash. Thomas Frank confirming that everyone involved in the car accident is fine. And I suppose, Ali, this is the last thing that Thomas Frank needs right now, right?
Well, that's the last thing Emden needs, obviously. Well, what happened recently, it's thankfully a potential disaster has been averted. And the most important thing, clearly, by a country mile, is the fact that both the lads are okay. But you're right, Thomas Frank doesn't seem to need his problems at the moment in time. Although I did say to Bruce earlier on there, Katie, I was at the Dortmund game, they're excellent. I mean, they're struggling for real consistency domestically, it goes without saying, but they're in a good position in the Champions League. So hopefully that'll give them a little bit of a break and they can go and enjoy it. Am I right in saying they're at Frankfurt tonight? I've got all the fixtures.
Yes. So they are looking to guarantee a place in the last 16 tonight. They're off to Frankfurt. Pedro Porro and Mickey van der Ven are the latest additions to that injury list. So they're going to miss them tonight.
They were the nightmare, Bruce.
It doesn't rain but it pours there. And thankfully the two lads are okay, because when you look at the car and you see the pictures of it, it doesn't look very good, does it? So thankfully they've walked away from it. And but it doesn't rain but it pours, and they've got some injury problems again, haven't they, as well? So big game for them tonight, and
massive.
And I think I heard yesterday they've got something like 15 players missing.
It's amazing,
which is amazing. It's too many.
Steve, what do you make of the situation that Thomas Frank has inherited at Spurs? Is the stick that he's getting unfair?
Well, I think it's part and parcel of it now. Unfortunately, you can only. It seems that you can be a month, 6 weeks away, and you're in crisis. And Tottenham in particular, they've won a European trophy, and then they're not happy with the manager and the style of play and this, that, and the other. And they're bringing a very talented manager in Thomas Frank, and all of a sudden he's under the pump, isn't he, as well? And I think it's becoming more and more common now that you don't get years to put together. You get You get weeks now, Ali, and I mean, look, it doesn't matter what manager, coach you have, the players that you've got in front of them and the inconsistency, because as you rightly say, against Dortmund, where they turn it on and you think they're a very good side, they sit fourth or fifth in this Champions League, and you look and say, what's the problem? They've got a magnificent training ground, magnificent stadium, great huge support, a really, on paper anyway, a very, very decent squad of players. But the inconsistency over the last 18 months, in particular in the Premier League, has been absolutely woeful.
Your thing is as well, mate, that, with the greatest respect, they've had excellent coaches and managers over the last, 10, 15 years. So does the problem go a little bit deeper than that? I don't know, but you look at obviously Jose Pochettino got him a final, I get all that, and Conte, they've had some terrific managers, but nobody's really. Big Ange wins a European trophy and then gets a bullet.
Yeah.
So that indicates there's clearly not all well.
It always seems to be they're in crisis, doesn't it? And from the outside, when you go and visit Spurs and you go and have a look at the stadium, the training ground, the squad of players, you think, wow, what is wrong with it? Yeah. And of course, there's a big expectation, of course, and winning a European trophy is obviously not enough. And then, they've got to play a certain way. And then it was all about Ange doesn't have a plan B. It's all attacking play, and everybody gives him, and it really is remarkable of really what it is now, because you're never given time really to build a team, put a team together anymore. You are judged over a few weeks
immediately,
and if you have a bad month, you're under the pump. I mean, I was hearing debates about Arne Slot the other day, and okay, they hasn't had the best of seasons, absolutely. You know, the defending champions haven't really made a fist of it just yet. He's just won the Premier League. And all of a sudden, he can't manage
That's
anymore.
what I'm with that.
It's phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Well, actually, that's on a number of back pages this morning. What a slot of noise, and I can't shut it out. You know, under pressure, Arne Slot. Just quickly before we go, just want to talk about Raheem Sterling's.
Yes.
Finally set for a move out of Chelsea. Saw this stat here. So Liam Rossini's side are in Italy tonight, facing Napoli in the Champions League for what will be the club's 100th game since Sterling last played for them. So that was back in 2024. I mean, Steve, do you think he deserves another chance in the Premier League?
Well, obviously he's been such a talented player, and I probably only think he's 31, 32. So you would think, and he's age-wise, but 100 games is the back end of nearly 18 months, 2 years maybe. That's quite a staggering statistic. And obviously he's not going to be part of the Chelsea outfit. So you would think, for his sake now, can he go and play maybe lower down? Would he play in the bottom half of the Premier League?
What about abroad, Brucey?
Yeah, maybe abroad. Maybe he needs something like that to ignite him. Yeah,
That's
maybe
what
abroad. You know, the American thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, is he going to go out to Saudi or whatever? But he's been such a good player over years. Terrific player, and it's sad to see the demise. Of course, but unfortunately, it happens to us all.
Yeah, it clearly looks he's not going to have a future at Chelsea.
No.
So if you're Raheem Sterling, what do you do? What do you obviously think about? Maybe would you go Europe? You know,
but make a pay cut. So at the moment he's on 325 grand a week. He's got 18 months to run on his deal in worth of 20 million. So you think, take a pay cut, go and play some football, and end your career on a high? Surely
you would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so. I mean, at that stage, you don't know how important the finances are to him, but you would think at that stage you would cut a deal, sit down with the bosses there and say, look, give me that and I'm off, and then he can go and play somewhere for a couple of years. You would think that would be the case.
Yeah.
You would think so, and I would, you know, with the headlines and all the rest of it that all of a sudden has surfaced over the last couple of days on Raheem, you would think something maybe is in the pipeline. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and plays somewhere else, and he's been a great player, that's for sure.
Yeah, like you say, he's 31, so he's still got a few years left.
31, wow.
Yeah.
See, there you are.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it's nothing, but I thought, say, I was about 33, but 31.
31.
Young.
And hasn't played for 18 months. But
It's incredible. Yeah. OK, Katie, thank you. Coming up, we're going to turn our attention back to the European football tonight. We've got you covered, obviously, once again in talkSPORT, but could all the England teams qualify for the top 8? Interest, we'll discuss that next, guys. Stay with us.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
That I would watch on telly tonight than a documentary about a family having a dispute. I mean,
it happens in every family up and down the country, day in and day out. And
the documentary makers would have a field day in our house.
Absolutely, they'll have a field day in most houses. Ali, for goodness' sake, why don't they just leave them alone?
Exactly. This is TalkSPORT.
We're bored with it.
TalkSPORT Breakfast. McCoist and Stevie Bruce with you this morning. It's Wednesday the 28th of January and it's 6:35 now. England cricket. Joe Root hopes Harry Brook's beer smash celebration will be received the right way, quote, after Brook celebrated his match-winning century live on TalkSPORT 2, imitating Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, they're loving it in there, they're loving it. Brook was recently involved in a late-night drinking scandal where he was struck by a bouncer the night before captaining a match in New Zealand. Brucey, I mean, these cricket players, they just can't behave themselves, can they, really?
I'm glad it's the cricketers for a change, yeah? How refreshing. How refreshing. I have to say, it's took away from what an unbelievable innings the guy. Absolutely wonderful. Do you know he's a unbelievable talent? We've got some talent in this cricket team we have. And I went to Perth. For the first test match, yeah, and it took me longer to get there than the match lasted. It was 20 wickets in the first day. We were 100 for one for lunch. I don't think they ever recovered, really. They didn't really recover from that, where they've put themselves in a wonderful position. Everybody's telling me they're going to have a lead of 200-300 by the end of the day, and unfortunately, and I have to say, I watched one of the great innings, and the Australian Travis Head was absolutely amazing. So what an atmosphere it was, though. But a bloody long way for. Oh, I shouldn't say that. A long way for 2 days of cricket.
I know, mate. I was contemplating. I mean, it was never on really, but I was contemplating if it was 2 each, I was going to go out for the final one.
Oh, absolutely. But no. My father-in-law, who's 88, and I asked him the question. He'd been on his bucket list for years, and asked him the question to say if he would fancy it. And I thought, he's going to say to me, Steve, it's a little bit too far to go, and this, that, and the other. He jumped at it. I have to tell you.
Called your bluff.
He called my bluff, and away we went. And so we only seen 2 days, but great memory.
Great respect. It's a nice place, Perth. I mean, it's Western Australia, lovely.
Yeah.
Now, don't forget the 3 T20 games against Sri Lanka live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. And also, if you're a cricket fan, here's one for you. We're giving away, this sounds brilliant, by the way, a week for 2 at the 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town.
Already? Was this next Christmas? Wow, Ali, count me in. Count me in. I mean, absolutely.
What a place that is.
I really enjoy, with the beauty of being sacked like I have over the last few years. Is I can watch a bit of cricket abroad in the winter.
Oh, man.
And I've done a bit of the West Indies, and I've done now Australia. So
I've done Australia, but
I've done Australia
I've
now.
not done the West Indies.
But the West Indies was sensational, I have to tell you. Got to be South Africa. Next winter.
That's Brucey.
Yeah, lovely.
Up at Franschhoek, you been up there?
Oh yeah, I've been up there. Yeah, Stellenbosch and all around there. Oh, how good is that?
That's one of the best for me.
Yeah.
Franschhoek. We went up there. We actually stayed on, me and we stayed on one of the vineyards.
Yeah.
With a couple of mates. Unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't spend a penny.
Well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's cheap as chips, isn't it?
I tell you. See, when we were there, I mean, this is right up a Scotsman Street. When we were there, I think it was about 17 or 18 rand. Somebody told me it's 22 now.
Yeah, 22 rand it was the last time we was there a couple of years ago. Yeah, you cannot really spend it, can you? It's
amazing. Although
incredible
fair, I did have a right go at it, to be honest with you. We are giving away for a week or two, as I said, at the 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town. Every day the match at one of the world's greatest cricket grounds, without doubt, with flights, hotel and spending money all covered. Listen up, here's how to enter, guys. Now, for your chance to win, text 1 to 83338. That's text 1 to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close the 6th of February 2026 at 4 p.m. That, of course, is when you'll need to pick up the phone. If it rings, 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Now, for your chance to win, once again, text 1 to 83338 now. It is now time for a bit of this.
God, I love the Champions League. PSG, finally, European champions.
Belting atmosphere. It's absolutely the sort of atmosphere you want to feel in a big Champions League night.
A new era for Champions League football.
Every match matters. It's talkSPORT in the Champions League.
It's Kevin's Hatcher birthday.
He's only got his own jingle. He's only got his own jingle. That's right. If you're a football fan waking up this morning, Merry Christmas. Just the 18 Champions League games tonight as the league phase is decided. So let's get all the latest in tonight's game and say a very, very good morning to the man who has his own jingle, Kevin Hatchard. Kev, I never knew. Where's his breaking news, mate? When did the jingle come into play?
Oh no, Hatch of the Day's been going all season in the Champions League, Alan.
Oh,
taking over the world, I'm telling you.
Where have I been, mate? Where have I been? Well, it is Hatch of the Day, mate, because some brilliant games, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cracking night. It's what this new format is all about, because it's about jeopardy in terms of which teams can go straight through to the last 16.
Yeah.
And which teams might get eliminated. And I suppose the game that underlines that particular jeopardy is the game between Napoli and Chelsea.
Yep.
Because you've got a Chelsea team that's trying to get the win that would probably get them into the top 8. And you've got a Napoli team that might go out. And that would be an enormous blow for them if you think a reigning Italian champion to not even make it would be just a huge blow for Antonio Conte. They were beaten 3-0 at Juventus at the weekend.
Yeah.
And 9 points off top spot in Serie A. So that would be another massive blow for Conte if they don't progress.
Kev, what about I'm looking at the fixtures, some great fixtures. Equally, PSG Newcastle was a massive, massive game, mate. Am I right in saying that actually, if there was a draw, the two of them might not make the top 8, or is that too far-fetched?
Yeah, that's right. That could happen. So there's absolutely jeopardy on that one. And I think Newcastle have obviously struggled away from home, not just in the Premier League, but in the Champions League as well. They've had some great results at home. They've been really, really good at St James's Park. But then you look at this trip to the European champions, and that's what PSG are, even though I don't think they've been as impressive as they were last season.
What's the reason for that, mate, do you think?
I think a bit of tiredness, if I'm honest, because you have to bear in mind how many games they've had. They went all the way to the end of the Champions League last season. They went all the way to the end of the Club World Cup in the summer. They've been going away to play the Trophée des Champions, which is basically the French Community Shields. Yeah. That was in Kuwait. They had this FIFA Intercontinental Cup thing. That was in Qatar. They had the UEFA Super Cup earlier in the season. So it's all,
You knocked out the Cup as well, didn't they, the rivals, am I right? The Paris beat them in the Cup.
Paris FC, beat them at home, 1-0. And that kind of ties into what's happened to them recently, which is that they've been making chances in games and not converting them. And that Paris FC game was a great example of that, actually. And you look at the game against Auxerre on Friday, battered Auxerre, who are not a great team, but just couldn't score. Kept missing chances. Bradley Barcola eventually was able to score. But I just wonder if this is going to be PSG doing exactly what they did last season, which was to kind of sleepwalk a little bit through the first half of the season and then catch fire after Christmas.
What about what kind of Frankfurt side are Tottenham going to be faced? Because I was just saying, Tottenham, they've done really, really well. Champions League, Kev. Domestically, they've struggled a little bit to find any consistency. It hasn't really been the case. I thought, that's just said to Big Brucey there, I thought, I was at the game against Dortmund, I thought they were excellent, particularly for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think Frankfurt, if you look at the mess they're in right now, it's a good time to play them, or it should be. They've conceded 3 goals in every single game they've played in 2026. I've commentated on a couple of those. And they're great going forward. They're a mess defensively. And it's not just defensive either. It's a whole team thing. It's a structure thing. And it cost their coach, Dino Topmuller, his job. He was let go, and they're still deciding who to bring in. Marcus Krösche, the sporting director, has got a big call to make there, because they're in danger in the Bundesliga of missing out on Champions League qualification the way things are going. And they've been really disappointing in this tournament. They've been found out, really, because they just concede far too many goals.
Kev, what one will you be picking to watch? Are you at one, or are you just, same as me, I'm actually in the studio, I'll be watching them all come in?
Yeah, I'll be working tonight. I'll be covering them all. We're keeping an eye on PSG Newcastle mainly, but I'll be watching all the scores come in. We've got a very handy UEFA live table, which I'll be sticking to like glue, because there's going to be so many changes. I think one to keep an eye on, by the way, and I understand why Liverpool are firm favourites, and they should be, but Liverpool-Karabakh is interesting, because Karabakh are a team that they're from Azerbaijan. They've dominated Azeri football for the last few years. And I think when they got to the group stage, people thought, oh, well, they're just going to be one of the minnows. They'll be a pushover. They've been anything but. They won at Benfica on their opening game. They drew with Chelsea and had chances to win that one. They beat Frankfurt last week. They are dangerous. So if Liverpool are off it, as they have been in some games in this competition, that could be a shock. So Liverpool have to absolutely be laser focused tonight.
Top man, Kev, enjoy it tonight. Thanks for your time.
Guys.
See you soon. Still to come this morning on Breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
Yep, we'll be asking Manchester United legend Steve Bruce about what he's made of Michael Carrick's dream start, and it has certainly been a dream start at United, and whether his old teammates need to be a little bit nicer about this current team. And also, we'll be finding out, this is the big one, never mind anything else, this is the one, we'll be finding out if Steve could get Brooklyn Beckham himself when his son Alex joins us in an hour's time. That was a breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Ali and Steve with you this morning. What do we know this Wednesday morning? Well, I'm going to tell you. Manchester United legend Paul Scholes has claimed that Arsenal will be the worst team to win the league if they go on to lift the Premier League title this season. Come on, Scholes, man. Raheem Sterling's time at Chelsea is nearing its end with the club's £325,000 per week winger in talks to leave Stamford Bridge this month. And we've reached the quarter-final stage at the Australian Open, and watching for us is Will Hobbs. Will, what is going on?
Novak Djokovic, Ali, is the luckiest man alive right now. 2 rounds ago, he was inches from disqualification when his wayward whack nearly took out a ball girl. He then got a bye through to the last 16 after opponent Jakub Mensik pulled out with injury. He reached the quarterfinals today, and he was on his way out. 2 sets down in the quarters to the graceful brilliance of Lorenzo Musetti, who was, in the words of Djokovic, in full control. But just before the 3rd set, Musetti takes a timeout for treatment on his groin, and he never recovered. He retired injured at 3-1 down in the 3rd set. So somehow Novak Djokovic is through to the semi-finals despite winning 0 sets of tennis across the last 16 and the quarterfinals combined. The dream of that record 25th Grand Slam somehow still alive. After this, it'll be the winner of the last Aussie Open, Yannick Sinner, up against Ben Shelton, the pocket rocket American. Earlier, Jessica Pegula and Elena Rybakina clinched their spots in the semis, beating Amanda Anisimova and Iga Swiatek respectively, both in straight sets. Novak Djokovic somehow through to the semi-finals at the expense of the injured Lorenzo Musetti.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Every set exclusively live on TNT Sports. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I know you told me there was a stab there, but I forgot, right? That's remarkable news at Will Hobbs. Remarkable news, Djokovic. You just wonder sometimes if your name's on it.
Yeah, maybe, but
you fancy the other two, don't you?
He's got them other two, and the other two are absolutely magnificent at the moment.
They are.
But you have to say, hats off to Djokovic. I know he's been a bit fortunate here, but
remarkable
what
athlete.
A remarkable athlete. What a remarkable tennis player he's been over the years.
Not wrong.
Fantastic.
Katie is back with us. Katie, how are you this morning?
Hello, quite a serious story
Absolutely.
here, actually. Hayley McQueen has called for professional footballers to have a brain scan before the start of every season, whether it's included as part of the medical. This is after a coroner ruled that heading the ball was a likely factor in her father, Gordon McQueen, developing dementia. Here is Hayley speaking about this.
Go through so many emotions. We've seen it sadly firsthand, and the way that Dad suffered. He loved football. He absolutely loved everything about football. But ultimately, that was something that, it took him in the end. He went through a horrendous time towards the end of his life. And I think more than anything, his actual communicating and speaking with Dad. And when he was around, he was certain himself it was possibly from heading football. So now it's not just, could it be this? Could it be that? We know it is. And I think my dad's main message would be to warn others against the dangers of heading and, protect future generations. We can learn from the past and take these learnings into the future because it's still a very real problem.
So Hayley will be on White and Jordan later on today. Just to give you some context, in a 2019 study, it found that footballers were 3.5 times more likely to die from dementia than the general population. And then another study found that players that headed the ball more than 15 times per match had a 3-fold risk of cognitive impairment compared to those who actually headed it between 0 to 5 times. So a serious story here. But Hayley raises a good point that she wants clubs to pay for brain scans at the start of every season so they can spot signs early. Do you think that clubs should pay for brain scans?
Well, without question now, I think you have to look at it in every detail that you can. And we're fortunate enough now that all these big clubs in particular are all, the medicals that they can do. It'd be no problem to put that into the equation. I think the big problem that you've got probably is when you retire from it, seems to be the problem. And how many times now are we hearing it? And I think it's been proven now that the ex-footballer is in danger, really, especially if you're a defender like Gordon, who headed it more than anybody else. It was the main part of his game. He was a big, huge, powerful man, and I had the privilege to get to know him over the years. And what he went through towards the end of his life was harrowing. So anything they can do with it, I've noticed in academies in particular, they're not practicing heading anymore. And I think there's something in America that under 14s aren't allowed to head it. They're looking at something like that. So I think it's a big part of the game which needs to be looked at. And any sort of medical help that can help an ex-footballer, then all well and good.
Yeah, I did a story with Ryan Mason because he had to retire due to a fractured skull, different kind of situation. But I was getting his thoughts on, like you were saying, they've banned heading for under 11s in America. And I was getting his thoughts on that and saying that should heading be banned for under 11s in this country? And since that story, the FA have banned heading for under 11s, and maybe it should be, up until 16 or 18s. But Ali, when you hear about these stories, and I appreciate this is a sensitive question, do you as former players ever get concerned?
Well, it probably seems a kind of obvious thing to say, and you got to believe me, it's not a flippant thing to say. But I would imagine, and I might be totally wrong, I would imagine somebody like Brucey, you would think would be slightly, because effectively what I'm trying to say, somebody like Brucey would head the ball a lot more than I would, right? Now, I don't think for a minute that would count me out the situation, but it maybe due to these statistics that you've told us, you have a greater chance the more you head the ball. So, yes, it would be a concern. You do think about it, right? And the bottom line is, if I'm thinking about it, I just wonder about the guys who headed the ball on a far regular basis are thinking about it. You look at the marvellous work that Jeff Astle, his daughter, whose name escapes me, and I apologise for that. Dawn, a remarkable lady, and the work she's done. Big Chris Sutton's dad, a similar situation. So I don't think there's any doubt there's something in it. There's no doubt about it. And if it, as I say to you, Kate, if it has kind of crossed my mind, I mean, I don't know. I for example, I do get, as I've got older, far more forgetful, right? Now, I'm hoping that's just a kind of age thing. And I probably think it will be. But it does cross your mind. You start thinking, well, I'm not as sharp as I was a few years ago. Is there something going on here? So it must be for particularly centre-backs that head the ball an awful lot.
Well, I think
cross their mind.
I think the study has proven that defenders in particular centre-backs, where unfortunately I played, and probably that was the biggest strength I had, was heading the ball. And it is, when you look at it and you look at the statistics, and they've dived into it now, and I think Jeff Astle's been gone something like 20 years now. Yeah. And I remember Alan Shearer doing a big piece some years ago on it too. So it highlights it all of a sudden, because all of a sudden, somebody like Gordon, who was a giant of the game, a giant of the game, to go down the way he did, then we have to look into it, we have to study it, and with every help that we can have. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be where the young'uns are not going to be, and rightly so maybe, that they're not going to practice the heading like we did. I mean, when I was young, that's all I did was practice heading, timing of it, heading it.
Do you think it hits home more, Brucey, as well, Kate? It probably does when it's in front of you. When I say it's in front of you, I mean something like Big Gordon. You and I knew Big Gordon ever so well. A diamond of man. Diamond of human being. You should stay in the next village. You should have great nights out and great fun he was. Loved his football. Absolutely, like Hayley said there, loved his football. I remember I was manager of Rangers and we're playing at Berwick, when we went down the leagues, playing at Berwick. And I got a knock at the door at 2:30 in the dressing room at Berwick. It was Big Gordon looking for a ticket. He jumped on a train for Yarram, and he just loved his football. And I think sometimes when it's right in your face and it really hits home hard, and it certainly has done a big Gordon.
Do you think we'll ever see a future where heading in football will be banned altogether?
It's such a big part of the game now, and we see now more than ever set pieces. We see every team now seems to be in the Premier League. The long throw has come back in. That's all about heading the ball. Set pieces is all about usually heading the ball. So it'll be a big thing to try and ban because it would take away the spectacle.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something. There's got to be something which we can try and help prevent it. We've got to look into it, and the medical people in particular have got to try and take all these statistics and analyse it and go to the real top people to say, how can we prevent this, or how can we try and help anyway? Because when it can take down a man like Gordon McQueen, then we're all susceptible, because he was a big, strong, powerful man. And towards the end, as I said, his death was harrowing.
It's a shame. Katie, thanks very much. You're right. And we're looking forward to hearing Hayley, who will be coming on with White and Jordan later on this morning. In fact, she's great. She's coming into the studio. So hopefully we'll be around and catch you for a couple of minutes. Up next, we're going to turn our attention to Liverpool, as Arne Slot believes going out of the Champions League last year helped them win the league. That's coming up next.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tiger's loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, sat in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1 up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano Jose. It's no Steve, huh? It's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Sevi regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Sevi would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
Oh, that tickled me. Free AI training, or as Gabby calls it, free AL training, and as Big Brazil calls it,
free A1.
Free A1 training. He's read it out, Brucey, about 4 times.
Has he really? Wow.
He calls it A1. Right. Very good morning. Wednesday, the 28th January, 6 minutes past 7. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark, saving your next car in the real sale. It's the UK's biggest used car sale. McCoist and Brucey with you this morning. Liverpool host Carrick this evening. So you would think they look likely to comfortably qualify along Arsenal, who have been terrific, who blew Carrick at the Emirates this evening. It's all looks so different with Liverpool. First won their 5 league games of the season after spending more than £450 million in the summer. But now, at this moment in time, they're 14 points adrift of Arsenal and have picked up 4 points in the last 5. It's all a far cry from a title-winning season a year ago, but Arne Slot even annoyed Liverpool fans yesterday when he made this claim.
This is not going to be a popular opinion, what I'm going to tell you now, but maybe the reason why we won the league last season is that we had to play Paris Saint-Germain in the last 16, because, as you know, they beat us, and we had every time a week to prepare for our next game. Maybe that has helped us as well. Maybe if we had to double that program, which Arsenal had, and they dropped a few points in that period of time, that has helped us in winning the league. So we are aware, every manager is aware, the bigger squad you have, the better you're equipped that you are for that many games.
Interesting, really interesting. Just for a little bit of context, the reason some of the fans I think were annoyed is because when Liverpool were knocked out by PSG in the last 16, they were 15 points clear in the Premier League. But he's got a point, I think, to a certain degree, Bruce. I mean, it kind of makes common sense. If you're not less tournament, you're out at tournament, you can focus more on the league.
Oh, 100%. It certainly helps you, because if you've got a clear week and you're playing and you've got the preparation to have the clear week, then it certainly benefits you. And I listened to Eddie Howe, and the big problem that he has got is adjusting to be in a top club where you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and you're not just playing, you're playing against elite teams where it becomes really, really difficult. And I think supporters, and they want to hear the team, we want to win in every front, and how difficult that is. It's really, really difficult nowadays, because the strength and depth it's what it's all about. And if you carry in a few injuries like Spurs, for example, tonight, then it become very, very difficult. But it is a big part of it. And you often hear the big managers talk about it, especially if a team's new to it, like Unai Emery with Aston Villa too, when they're approaching Europe. But certainly it was fascinating to listen to Eddie with it, that, they've strived to be there and get there. Now they have to adapt to it and learn how to do it. And it's been a bit of a struggle this time in the league for them. And they've got a big game, obviously, tonight against Paris to see if they can progress into the last 8 would be terrific.
Do you think sometimes, Bruce, we underestimate the effect? And I know fans sometimes don't want to hear it. You're playing football. It's again, it's paid a lot of money, this, that, and the next thing. I get it, and there's an element of that. However, do you think sometimes we actually do underestimate the intensity that's put on players to perform twice a week at the top level?
At the top level, and especially in the Premier League. We see the Premier League now. We could arguably have 6 teams, all from the Premier League, in the top 8.
Which is remarkable.
Which is quite remarkable. And that shows you the strength, what the Premier League entails. It's not like any other league. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain are just sauntering along at the moment, and I'm sure after Christmas, they'll just saunter and win the league by 15 points, and it becomes easy for them. But certainly in the Premier League now, the intensity of it, playing in it, competing in it, is very, very difficult. And you ask any of the even foreign coaches like Arne Slot, who's done remarkably well since he's arrived on these shores, and he followed the mighty Jurgen Klopp, who's the most popular man in Liverpool, and he did it with some style. So I can understand what he says. Of course, it's going to disappoint and upset people that that might be the reason why they won the league. But he's got a point.
Couldn't argue, mate. Joining us now to give his thoughts on someone who somehow convinced Liverpool to pay a record English fee for him. It's a very good morning to Dean Saunders. Dean, morning, mate.
Morning, Ali. Morning, Steve.
Thanks for joining us, pal. What's your take, Dino, first of all, just on the whole Liverpool thing at this moment in time, before we go into Arne Slot and Champions League? What's been the problem for you this season with them?
Well, they're probably the only club that's won the league, and then they let 8 players go.
Yeah.
Who would all be arguably starting the game now. If you go through it, Trent's left, Andy Robertson's not playing, Harvey Elliott, Quansah, Jota, Nunez, Diaz. They'd get in most teams, and they've left. Obviously, he's had a few injuries, so now he's looking at the bench, and it doesn't look like a Liverpool team. But on top of that, Salah's not played like he can play, and they've tried a different style of football, which, I can't remember the last time I seen Van Dijk hit a diagonal on Salah's chest. I can't remember Frimpong hitting a diagonal out to Gakpo, where Trent used to supply them longer passes. Van Dijk used to hit longer passes. So if it sticks on Salah's chest, they've got 4 plays to get past. Liverpool look like they turned into Man City without Man City's players.
It's interesting, Bruce. I think you make a good point, because I look back, and you're right. I go back to Sadio Mane on the left-hand side, Trent would fire a diagonal, Andy Robertson would fire a diagonal. Liverpool were as good a team at mixing it up and bringing both things to the party than any team I've seen in a long time.
Well, you look at them 2 players in particular now, don't you? They're going to take some replacing, aren't they? So there's your 2 fullbacks, which have been really instrumental in the success of Liverpool, and especially last year, and Andy and Trent, and they've been a big miss. I mean, I didn't realise until Dean's just said that, of how many more. And of course, the Diego Jota thing must hang over them all too. I mean, it's horrific of what's happened there too. So, there's been a big change, and I didn't realise until I listened to Dino the absolute changes that they've made. Big call from when you've just won the league.
Dino, can you understand? I think that we can understand the disappointment from the Liverpool fans, but I can't. Surely we're taking it a step too far when we're questioning the man's job.
Well, he won the league last year, so that'll give him a bit of credit. But Liverpool expect to be in the Champions League every year. So, looking at the results they've had, I mean, the Bournemouth game, no one's mentioned this, but I don't think anybody's mentioned it. Van Dijk's made a mistake for the goal. He's blamed the wind, the ball's come over his head. But if you freeze the frame when the centre-backs hit the ball over the top. No pressure on him whatsoever. Whereas I remember, I can cast my mind back to Norwich got promoted to the Premier League, and they were trying to play out from the back. The 2 seasons before they were in the Premier League, got relegated. And I thought, first game of the season, surely they're not going to play out from the back against Mane, Salah and Firmino.
Yeah.
You've got to get past them 3 first. Then you run into 3 dogs, Milner, Henderson and Fabinho. So you couldn't get out of your own half against Liverpool. And all of a sudden, that work rate and that, sort of organised press, that's gone missing. When the centre-back hit the ball over Van Dijk's head, the front 3 was stood 15 yards off him watching. And then I have to say Van Dijk's made a mistake, obviously a bad mistake. And the last goal in the 97th minute, a long throw, frees the frame again when the ball's arriving in the box. Van Dijk's ducked out the way. Jones has ducked out the way, and Szoboszlai's ducked out the way. Surely, Steve, you'll know, that is the easiest way of defending a long throw or a corner. Head the ball out the box. It's basics.
Yeah, it certainly is basics. And how often, I've just said it before, Dino, how often are we seeing now the long throw? But when you see that the chaos that it produces and the number of goals that are scored from it, it's like corner kicks, isn't it? But you're not surprised when you see the amount of people in the box now for a corner or a long throw. So all of a sudden you've got maybe 15, 18 players. And they're all, Arsenal have been unbelievable with set pieces. They're all doing one thing, is to stop the goalkeeper coming from it. It's all a bit of a fight, Dino, isn't it? So it is an art which you need your big centre-back to go and clear everything out, and how good it is to see it when it happens. But it's been very, very difficult for a lot of teams, and especially Liverpool.
Certainly has.
Steve, do you think we've gone too far with, in academies, teaching defenders how to play out from the back, and they've actually forgot to defend? And a lot of them now are getting found out because Pep's gone, well, hang on a minute, our total football's not working anymore. What if we start loading some balls on their back four? And there's not many defenders can head it anymore.
Well, it became very, very fashionable 2-3 years ago of who can play out the best from a goal kick, and it become a little bit absurd. I think a lot of teams are going away from that a little bit now because, it seemed to be the way you have to play, and certainly defenders, and I have to say the goalkeepers too. Goalkeepers, the big thing back in the day was, can they keep the ball at the back of the net and can they make a save? Now it's all about how good they are though with their feet, and that seemed to be the trait. I think it's turning, Dino. I think it's going to turn round in full circle. That I don't think teams are going to take the chances like they did do, or they have been doing. And certainly when you look at the long throw, every game I watch now, especially in the Premier League, everybody's got a long throw. They're all trying to use it. And, heading the ball, we just had the big discussion there, Dino, 25, 20, 30 minutes ago, The defenders these days aren't heading the ball as often as obviously we did back in our day, So that's another thing, you've got to practice all this heading the ball. And, that's the big debate that I'm sure will rage on for a long time to come.
Dino, just a quick one on the sports bar tonight.
Play like Real Madrid for 90 minutes. If you can't head a long throwaway, you can get beat by a pub team.
Yeah.
They've got big strikers and a young whippet. You know what I mean? If you can't defend long throws, you can't win anything.
Well, I think it's a long thing for set pieces alone, just not long throw. Corner kicks is another one, isn't it? I mean, Liverpool in particular have struggled this year against set pieces against, Have they got the ability to head the ball out the box? That's the simple matter of any defensive unit, is have you got big headers of the ball who can deal with long throw, set pieces coming into your box? It's a huge, huge part of the game.
Dino, I need to go. If I don't go to a break, this is my last show, Dino. Enjoy the sports bar this evening, pal. Enjoy it, mate. Dino. Dean Saunders, everybody on the sports bar, taking your calls straight after the football tonight. Now, for the first time this morning, we're going to have a bit of this.
Wow, you're never going to see anything like it again. Wait till you see this.
It's time for Brucey's Bonus.
How's the bacon, did you say?
That's right, it's a Brucey bonus. We'll ask Steve one bonus question each hour. Don't answer it just yet, though. Okay, we'll find out what the answer to this after the break. So here it is, Steve. Have Liverpool disrespected Andy Robertson after his move to Tottenham collapsed? Robertson's made over 350 games for Liverpool and won just the 6 major trophies. Steve coached Robertson at Hull, and we're going to find out the answer to that question next. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! Oh!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Wow, you're never going to see anything like it again. Wait till you see this.
It's time for Brucey's bonus.
How's the bacon, did you say?
Okay, 7:21 Wednesday, the 28th of January. I'm going to take this opportunity right now to wish my best mate a happy birthday. Noxie, it's your birthday today, son. Happy birthday. It was Watties on the 24th. Our wee gang at the BB, the Boys Brigade, the primary school. Wattie was was January 24th. Alan was the 25th and Noxie's the 28th. So happy birthday to my 3 pals.
As in Archie Knox?
No. Oh no, he's older than me, by the way. And I'm by a good bit. Right, and I'm being very, very careful there. I could get myself in a lot of trouble because I know Archie occasionally listens. Anyway, good morning, Archie. Steve, before the break, we asked you, Steve, Liverpool disrespected Andy Robertson after his move to Tottenham collapsed? Robertson's made over 350 games played, over 350 games for Liverpool and won 6 major trophies. He has been terrific. Steve coached Robertson, I'll thank you, when he went down from the United. What do you think, Steve?
Actually, we talk about Archie Knox, and
he's brilliant, eh?
And one of my first conversations was we'd heard about this left back playing at Dundee, and Archie used to do a little bit for us in Scotland when I was at Hull, and and my chief scout was a lad, Stan Tennant, who's been in it a long, long time.
Yes.
Two unbelievable characters,
Characters.
a pair of them. And Stan come back and said, after half an hour he left, he said, we've got to take him. He's Billy Whiz. I says, Billy Whiz? Who's Billy Whiz? He said, I didn't know who Billy Whiz was at the time.
You're joking?
No.
You didn't know who Billy was?
Something out of a comic or something, isn't he, Billy Whiz?
What a sheltered childhood you must have.
Anyway, I know, well, I didn't know anything about it, but typical Stan said, listen, I only had to see him for half an hour. And anyway, we ended up signing, and I remember him walking across the car park in Hull, and he was holding his mum's hand, and he looked as if we'd signed a schoolboy. And I said to her, Archie, what have we got here? He's got his leg holding his mum's hand. He's like a little boy, and we just got into the Premier League at the time, and we'd had a few injuries, and I have to be brutally honest that he wasn't coming into me equation to even play, to give him a bit of time to adjust, but he went straight in and never came out.
Amazing,
and the same thing, and I think arguably pound for pound, what are they buying for? 8-10 million in the end from Hull. He's been a magnificent servant, hasn't he? And an absolute wonderful fullback he's turned into.
He's been tremendous.
Great character. Great lad.
Brilliant boy as well.
Brilliant boy. He's got every tick. And I was really surprised that they were entertained from Spurs. I don't know what happened. I'm looking from afar.
So was I, mate.
And I was really surprised that Liverpool would entertain it, really, because he certainly seemed last year as if, listen, you've always got to make, as a manager, to make provisions that people are getting old and transitions and blah, blah, blah. He still had a lot to offer, as far as I'm concerned, looking from afar, and Andy. But listen, he's been a wonderful, wonderful servant to Liverpool. Arguably one of my best signings for what we signed him for at the time at Hull. And as I said, he had a wonderful time at Hull. And I think it was Kenny Dalglish bought him, and what an astute signing.
He's been brilliant. I mean, the boy's been fantastic. Started off at Queen's Park. I think he was Celtic actually as a kid, get released.
Yeah.
Queen's Park, then United, Hull, and then Liverpool. I've been a little bit surprised. I mean, I was in Marseille and I watched Liverpool. Were terrific against Marseille, and I thought it's probably the best I've seen Carrick play. But I'm really surprised that Andy Robertson hasn't had more game time this season. It has surprised me, Brucey.
I know. I listen. You question. You look and you have to look from afar and say what's happened, because I've certainly seen him play for Scotland. He doesn't look as if he's lost any of his pace at all, does it? So I've been surprised from afar too. But hey, I'm going to be favourite towards him because it's one person I look for, because obviously the connection I've had with him. Yeah,
brilliant. Okay, we heard Arne Slot saying it helped them win the league going out to the Champions League last season. That's annoyed Liverpool fans. One of the fans is annoyed, has given us a call. He's given us a call on 03717 22 3344. It's time to say a very good morning to Graham, the Liverpool fan. Graham, good morning.
Good morning, Alistair. Good morning, Steve.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Good morning.
Now, I take it you're not too happy with Arne Slot's comments?
No, but first of all, can I just make a quick comment about Steve?
Of course.
Obviously, being a Liverpool fan, and he's been a Man United player, and you don't build up that link with them sort of people. But recently, over the last few weeks, I've listened to him a good few times on his match analysis and listening to him in the morning, and I think his views on things are absolutely brilliant. And please give up the manager's job but carry on doing what you're doing most recently, Steve. It's absolutely brilliant.
I think I might have to give up the manager's job.
No, and that's no disrespect or whatever, but you've got an asset, and people like me are picking up a lot of what you're saying, and your views are non-judgmental. You're being honest and open.
Thank you,
man. What do you think of the Arne Slot situation, Graham?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. He's talking in the future. We're not even at the stage where we're at the knockout stage. So really, he's hanging himself. What he's saying is, at this stage, we should be 15 points clear, and in a few weeks, hopefully, Liverpool carry on to the last 16, and that's when we'll fall apart. Absolutely ridiculous. Can't understand it at all.
Do you think... I'm looking at Liverpool, and obviously domestically things haven't gone their way, Graham, but I need to tell you, mate, I was in Marseille and I thought they were absolutely terrific. Away from home there, I was in Frankfurt. I thought after they went 1-0 down in Frankfurt, I thought they were absolutely terrific. Is it clear they're saving their better performances for Europe?
Potentially it is, and you potentially answered the question, because after a European game, you get brought back down to ground. You keep thinking, oh, well, have they turned the corner? The new players, they're building up relationships, they're getting to know each other, they're getting to know which balls they like and things like that. And then all of a sudden, Bournemouth, you get brought down to earth with basic mistakes that Steve was talking about there with Van Dijk. And that third goal, it was like watching kids playing three pops and in as a child.
It was a bizarre goal. Graham, thanks for your call, mate. Have a good day. Thanks for taking the time to call us on 03717 223344. Now, coming up, it turns out a little bit I gave Benty a bit of stick yesterday for his Mastermind performance, which was deserved and warranted. Believe me, those drive boys didn't take it too well. More on that next.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
delighted they weren't privy to that conversation. That post-breaking news conversation there involving Gabby's favourite channel. Right, anyway, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. Ali and Manchester United legend Steve Bruce and Arnold Clark's real sale. There's huge savings to be had in over 20,000 cars. Okay, we had a bit of fun in the show yesterday morning as we reacted once again to one of our favourite clips, if not our favourite clip of all time. It is, of course, Darren Benty on Mastermind when he scored a whopping 0. Anyway, I think it's safe to say the boys were fighting back yesterday. Let's have a listen.
I didn't like Ali there.
No.
I'll throw down the gauntlet to Ali, right? Yeah. Tell me what your specialist subject is. I'll write the questions and give you a minute. See if we can do better than Bentley.
Yeah, do that.
All right? We can all talk the talk. Come on, McCoist. See what you made of. Can you walk it?
What's your specialist subject, though, Ali?
Do you know something? I'll take anything. I'll let him make it up, right? And if I can't get one in a minute, I only need one, remember. Benny got a big fat 0.
I work with Benty as well. I'm not surprised.
I mean, they tell me he was lucky to get 0.
Yes.
Now, if you're looking for a bit of entertainment on the way home, then look no further than the boys. Absolutely different class, and I got a big show tomorrow from 4 p.m. Robbie Williams live with Andy and Benty again from 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's fantastic. We got a real treat this morning now, as our next guest is someone who Steve Bruce knows extremely well. Over 350 club appearances and current assistant manager Salford City. It's son of Steve. It's Alex Bruce. Alex, a very good morning. How are you, mates?
Good morning, Ali. How are you getting on?
We're in top form. We're in good form here. Dad's in good form. He's on his 14th coffee, mate.
Are you up? I'm pleased it's his 14th coffee and not his 14th donut.
No, Al.
Sorry,
I'm
Dad.
starving here. I would have thought I might have got a croissant or something like that, you know.
Oh, you're in the wrong
Well, they
job,
look
mate.
after you at talkSPORT.
We're in danger of here having a squabble to overtake the Beckhams here. We're not getting involved in that. Alex, last night, I was going to bring it up. Poor one. How are you feeling about last night? Disappointing result.
Ali, it was one of those horrible nights where we actually played quite well. We had a number of chances, and we just got pipped at the end. 93rd minute, own goal. They had one shot on target, and it didn't go our way. It turned out to be one of those horrible ones. But first defeat in 12, I think it is, and it's just important now how the lads react. And we've got another opportunity to turn it around on Saturday. That's the beauty of it.
How are you enjoying it? What do you think? I mean, what I'm looking at the league, and it seems to me one of those leagues. I mean, we Cookie's team last year obviously won nothing. It looks like one of those leagues on your day. If you're not bang at it, you'll get beat. That's
exactly what it is, Ali. All the teams can beat one another. They're all tight games, but that's what makes it exciting. And yeah, over the course of the season, there's going to be plenty of ups and downs. It's so tight from top to bottom, and it's just who can put a run together at the right times.
Well, after disappointment last night, you've got Manchester City to look forward to. Alex, it was brilliant. We had Carol on the show last week, right? And I think I said to him, would he phone Gary Colwell for any advice on how to play City? I mean, it's just one of these things. I mean, you know what it's like. If you get them on a street, they're more than capable of doing that to anybody. But it's a big, massive game. I take it.
They had them last year in the FA Cup.
Because we spoke to Carol before it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Ali, it's a great occasion for everyone to look forward to. When the draw was made and we seen City away come out the hat again, we were thinking, God, because ironically we were in exactly the same situation last year. We were in the top 3 in the league at the time. We were on a really good spell, and we went there and we got heavily beaten. We got beat 8. And it was like an uppercut that we didn't really recover from, I have to be honest. So the one thing that I think we are better this year. We've got more energy, we've got more legs in the team. We're going to need them. And we just hope that the lads can go there and put a decent show on and try and compete and just try and enjoy the occasion. That's all you can ask, and see what happens. You never know with the FA Cup. We've seen it with Macclesfield and Crystal Palace. Things happen, so you never know.
How do you do that, Alex, for example? I mean, how important is it that the boys, as I said, if you get a going over, how important is it the reaction from that you try and get them back to base and say, look, that's one of the best teams in the planet you're playing on, that can happen to anybody? Or can it affect some of them individually, mentally, and it can batter them for a few games?
Well, it certainly did last year, and that's why with getting them again in the draw this year, at least they've got the experience of that and what to expect. Last year, a lot of the players had never played, and you know as well, Ali, when you're playing a big occasion, a big atmosphere, and you've never done it before, it can hit you a bit like a sledgehammer. So you'd like to think the experience of it from last year will stand them in good stead. As for the aftermath, I mean, I know Gary Caldwell rang Carl and said, how did you handle it last season? Because he didn't want a hangover of it. And it's very difficult. It's all about trying to get the lads back on track. And listen, hopefully we can nick a result or get a draw and bring them back to our place. That would be marvellous. But the important thing is just try and be competitive and try and take some positives out of the game. And the one thing you don't want to have is obviously a good hiding, you know.
I'm going to say to you, mate, you get yourself tuned in for this one, Alex. I don't know if you heard it, mate. We're giving you the floor. We're going to give you the right to reply, pal, because last week we had your gaffer on the show, Carl Robertson, and he teamed up with Gabby, to be fair. And I thought the abuse that was going your way was a little bit unjust, but I'm going to give you a listen to it, mate. Here it's coming.
Carl, I want to ask you about your assistant, Alex Bruce. I know Alex, great lad, but if you saw him on his coaching badges in Belfast with me, Ruben Amorim, Chris Samba, I don't think you'd have him as your assistant, mate.
Hey, Carol, what about that for a trio? Amorim, Bruce and Bonlaw. What about that?
Hey, let me tell you something now, right? He said the same about you. You're best staying on the radio.
That's why I haven't got a job in football, mate.
You know the funny thing about it is, though, right? Honestly, he's like Victor Meldrew. Honestly, he's hilarious, but doesn't even know that he's being funny.
Yes.
You've got great people around you. No need for that, Alex, was there? That was nothing short of an outburst, that was.
I think that's a bit harsh. I don't know what's worse. The fact that he called me a bad coach, Gabby, or the Victor Meldrew shout from Carl wasn't great either, was it?
By the way,
to be fair, I'm surprised Gabby can comment. He spent half the course in a bar in Belfast somewhere.
I was going to say, Alex, Gabby did his coaching badges with you. Gabby.
Believe it or not, yeah, he did.
Wow.
Well, he was there.
So well, it's funny because there's a lot of the guys do them up north, right? Funnily enough, when I went through with VS Boas and a few of the guys were through, I think Mourinho, believe it or not, went through up north as well. But they tell me Belfast is the next one, Alex, but the boys have a great crack when they go there.
They do, I have to say. I've spent a good 4 or 5 years over there doing my B licence, my A licence, and then obviously onto the pro. And it was really good. The lads who did it were great, and some of the people that are on the courses, Ali, and the people you meet is quite incredible from all different walks of life, parts of the world where are fascinating at times to meet people and see what paths they go down. But
what about Chris Samba, Alex? He wasn't very
Chris Samba
happy.
wasn't happy. No, he wasn't
happy with you, big Chris Samba. You know, big Chris Samba who played for Blackburn Rovers. He played for me for a little while, and it's fair to say we didn't see eye to eye now and again.
He wasn't happy, Ali. He wasn't happy because he said that Dad should have played him centre forward in the playoff final for Aston Villa against Fulham when they got beat 1-0, and he took it out on me in the bar on the first night of the course.
No danger.
And he's about 6'8" as well, and I'm thinking, Dad, what are you getting me involved in here?
I'm just wondering, Alex. I'm just kind of think what Ruben Amorim, for example, would have picked up from Gabby.
Well, that sums Gabby up because Ruben Amorim wasn't even on the course, so that tells you what Gabby's all about. So he must have mistook him for somebody else. So well done, Gabby. Nice to see he was concentrating anyway.
Oh my God,
that's tremendous, mate. You're kidding me, on he wasn't even in the course.
I think he might have actually mistaken him for, you know, Thiago, the midfield player who played for Atletico Madrid. So he was a close one, Gabby. So well done, mate.
How come I'm not surprised at that at all, by the way?
Yeah.
I had the pleasure to manage Gabby as well, by the way. Wow. That was an experience.
That is you made my morning wait to see him. Alex,
I told you I'm getting back.
Absolutely brilliant. So what are you watching the games tonight, I take it?
Yeah, I'll be watching the football tonight. I'm just going to drop the kids at school now, and just have we've got a day off today, and just have a lazy day, mate. So
brilliant, mate. Well, good luck to the boys for the rest of the season, and thanks for joining us, mate.
Cheers, Ali.
Thanks. Take care, Alex.
See you later, Al. See you later, son.
That's tremendous.
I'm not surprised with Gabby.
He's telling Ruben Amorim is on the course.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, okay. Still
I'm
to come.
surprised that Gabby was on the coaching courses, if I'm being brutally honest.
Still to come this morning in breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
Oh, that's made my morning, it has. We're playing Price is Right ahead of a massive deadline day in talkSPORT this Monday. Our very own Jim White, of course, will be right at the heart of it.
And let me tell you, I'm loving it.
Very good. Up next, though, we'll find out if... Now, will we? That was a look ahead, and all thanks to the brilliant Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Okay, 7:47 is Wednesday the 28th of January. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Erling, Steve with you this morning. What do we know this Wednesday morning? Well, here we go. Liam Ross Senior has rubbish rumours linking Cole Palmer with Manchester United, with the Chelsea head coach insisting that his playmaker is untouchable and extremely happy at the bridge at this moment in time. Interesting one here. Novak Djokovic has made the semi-finals at the Australian Open 4 years in a row after his opponent was forced to retire. A very, very fortunate Djokovic. 2 sets to love down. Opponent retires. However, he's in the semi-final. And Manchester City head into their game against Galatasaray this evening with a win potentially not even enough to seal a top 8 place. Pep has been speaking to the media and came to the defence of his striker Erling Haaland despite dropping him over the weekend.
Never underestimate the strikers, the goal scorers, because always they will make you silent. So he went to score for the rest of his life, that's for sure.
What do you think? I mean, it's one of these situations. Listen, everybody's open to criticism. We get that. Arne Slot's a perfect example of that. Wins a title with criticism. Pep wins 4 in a row. He's getting, so nobody's immune from it, right?
No.
Is it one of these things now where listen, fans have always had an opinion, right? Oh, and so they should have, by the way. But is criticism greater?
I think it's the platform.
It greater, do you think?
It's certainly greater because the platforms are bigger.
Yeah.
Back in our day, maybe, Ali, you had the Pinkin on a Saturday night to read, didn't you?
Yep.
And you don't have, what's available now to see every game live, to see all the Champions League stuff. The whole situation is totally different. Look, he might have been just giving Haaland a rest. He's not had non-stop, and he might have just been thinking, I'm going to keep him fresh. Listen, this boy's been quite incredible, and I had to seen him about 12 months ago in the flesh to actually look at him.
Beast there. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, amazing to watch when you actually, on the TV, we understand he's a great goal scorer, but when you see him live, and the pace of him, and the power, and the strength, and the way he can jump, and the fella's been incredible since he arrived, and all of a sudden he's had a bit of a dodgy few weeks, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's had that in his mind to just say, this is a big game for them to get in the top 8, because if you get into the top 8, you don't have to play in February, do you? So it's a massive game for these big clubs.
Where are you, Brucey, just now with City? I mean, the Duke. Is it fair of me to say they just look as though they've got a wee bit of a vulnerability about them now?
Yeah.
Still brilliant.
They're still. I mean, I watched them a couple of weeks ago, and they were still absolutely fabulous to watch. What they're doing, obviously, is the transition, and the number of players that they've let go, and the number of players that they're turning round, and of course, then they need time to adapt and the situation. But they've had a huge turnaround in the last 12 months.
That's why I think they're doing all right. I genuinely do.
Doing fine, aren't they? They're still in most fronts. You wouldn't write them off in the league, would you? Now we're 4 points behind Arsenal. No, you wouldn't. And no matter who you are, when you come against Pep's team, you don't know how to set up against them, because you don't know what's coming, because he's been that clever over the years and that good a team he's had, and they've had a huge transition period. These lads need time to settle in a little bit, and but still a threat to everybody in every competition. You do not want to play Manchester City, I assure you.
100%, mate. Now, Jim White's favourite day of the year is fast approaching, so it's time to round up all the latest transfer news thanks to Intuit QuickBooks, I beg your pardon.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment and business admin with ease all year round. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
Brook is Roundup, right here every day. Brook is Roundup, which players are on their way. If an agent's got a story.
Hello, Alex Crook. What you got for me?
Crookie gets it first.
Yeehaw, cowboy. There's a snake in my boot.
Indeed there is. Crookie, a very good morning.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. How you been? Never knock out. You got a smile on your face with United's form recently, pal?
Yeah, Mrs. Crook actually suggested that maybe I smiled more on Sunday than I did even on our wedding day, but I'm not sure that's strictly true.
Well, here's a quick one for you, mate. Right, were you more impressed with United Sunday or more impressed with United the previous week against City?
Do you know what? I think in equal measure, two very different game plans. Obviously against City, it was all about high energy, tempo to the play, trying to get runners in behind. It was a lot more patient against Arsenal, but I think the plan from Michael Carrick was to just keep possession, frustrate the players and the fans, and it certainly worked.
Bit of bad news for United this morning, Dorgu.
Yeah, this is a real shame, actually, because I've been quite critical of Patrick Dorgu, as have a lot of Manchester United fans, but he's just started to find his position in the team, hasn't he? He got that brilliant goal against Newcastle just after Christmas. Obviously scored in the last 2 games, a fabulous finishing off the underside of the crossbar. They always look better, I think, when they hit the crossbar and go in. And now he's out for probably a couple of months at least. But it does sound like United aren't planning on diving into the transfer market, even though he's injured, even though I think Michael Carrick will want an extra body in midfield. And I wonder if that's a risk, bearing in mind you look at the league table, the fixtures coming up, they've got a great chance of getting in the top 4 or 5 and qualifying for the Champions League.
Cookie, do you know specifically what the injury is?
It's some kind of hamstring issue, and obviously, more serious than they first thought. There was a suggestion coming away from Arsenal that maybe it was just cramp, but it's a hamstring issue, and it's going to take a few weeks to heal, is the information we have.
Absolutely. Another player we were talking about earlier on, Brucey, Raheem Sterling. What do you think the future holds for Raheem? It looks as though his time's obviously up at when I say time's up at Chelsea, I think he's probably still got 18 months his contract to go. But is it one of these situations, Crookie, we could maybe get a deal sorted and go away and play somewhere?
Well, I think he needs to, doesn't he? It's the best part of 2 seasons since he's kicked a ball for Chelsea, still training away from the first team. But his options are limited. There was talk of West Ham and maybe a loan move earlier in the window, but I don't think he was particularly keen at the time. Fulham have shown interest. I think that would be his preferred destination, but it looks like they're going to sign Oscar Bob. In the summer window, he had the opportunity very late on deadline day to potentially link up with Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, but he decided that move wasn't right for his family. So I think options are thin on the ground. He wants to stay in London, which of course does limit the number of clubs that he can join. The word coming out of Chelsea yesterday was they hope to find a resolution before the window closes at 7 o'clock on Monday. But that might involve some kind of payoff because, as you say, he's still got 18 months left on his contract and he's earning more than £300,000 a week.
Yeah, that'll take a bit of negotiating. Mate, I was at, where was I? I was at West Ham at the weekend. Thought they were terrific, particularly the first half, to be honest with you. There was 1 or 2 eyebrows raised when James Ward-Prowse appeared. I think his kit was out in his dressing room for the first time in a while. What's happening with him?
Yeah, I find it a bit bizarre the way that Nuno has treated James Ward-Prowse.
So do I.
In a relegation battle, he's the type of character and has the type of quality, certainly from dead ball situations, that you need. But he obviously doesn't have a future. He was back on the bench, but I think that was just out of necessity in terms of numbers, because we know Lucas Paquetá is unlikely to play for West Ham again. Looks like he's going to complete a move to Flamengo in the coming days. And James Ward-Prowse has been given permission to undergo a medical at Burnley before completing a loan move there and linking up with Scott Parker's side. So swapping one relegation rival for another. And I hope it works out for him, because I think he's a great pro. He's a great lad, and I'm a little bit perplexed by the fact that he's been ostracised by his manager.
I thought the 2 new signings at West Ham did okay, but the star men, no major surprise. I thought some of them on the left-hand side. And Jared Bowen again, Crookie, he was just absolutely different class.
Yeah, if they're going to stay up and they've given themselves a fighting chance, I think those 2 are going to be absolutely central to it. They're bringing in Adama Traore from Fulham. He was at the training ground yesterday. That's going to be a £2 million deal. And you wonder where he's going to play, because, as you say, they've got a lot of options out wide. But what they do lack, I think, is a little bit of pace, which obviously he brings. They're trying to sign Antonin Kinski as well, the goalkeeper from Tottenham, because that's been an area of concern. And yesterday they terminated the loan of Igor. He's gone back to Brighton, which is interesting because obviously Kinski would come in on loan. It does now free up a second domestic loan spot, and they're one of the clubs looking at Axel Disasi at Chelsea. So West Ham could be busy in the final days of the window.
Good stuff, mate. Anything else outstanding? Are you watching the football this evening, I guess?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching Tottenham for talkSPORT. Obviously a big opportunity for them to get into top 8 and qualify for the round of 16. Frankfurt have been dreadful in the Champions League this season. They're one of the 3 teams who are already guaranteed to be going out. So it feels like a real opportunity for Thomas Frank to ease the pressure on him. But I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant, Crookie. Enjoy your football tonight. Speak to you soon, mate. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, pal. Yeah, don't forget, wall-to-wall deadline coverage right here in talkSPORT this coming Monday. Up next, though, talkSPORT's Voice of Life Football tells us if he thinks all 6 English teams could finish in the top 8 tonight. I'm not so sure. Adrian Durham next.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Yep, it's half-time. It's 3 minutes past 8. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Ali and Brucey with you this morning. And, of course, Arnold Clark saving your next car in the real sale. It's the UK's biggest used car sale. Now, lots on the way for you this morning. We're going to take a deeper dive into Brucey's previous clubs. It's Newcastle. Great tie tonight against PSG. It is live on talkSPORT, and obviously Manchester United have started to turn things around. Fantastic start they've had with Michael Carrick, under Michael Carrick's stewardship. And after a Harry Brook and Joe Root masterclass, saw England clinch the series 2-1 out in Sri Lanka yesterday. Legendary English spinner Graham Swan, Magic Swanee, will be here to dissect that. Now though, it's the deciding night of the Champions League group stage on talkSPORT, and for the English sides there is plenty to play for. Here's talkSPORT reporter Tom Clayton.
Champions League, final match day, and there's no room for error. The reward, top 8, straight through. Miss it, and it's the playoff round. The pressure is on for the English teams. Arsenal are already safe.
Into the 6-yard area, Gabriel Jesus again!
But the rest, they need results to keep the chasing pack at bay. Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and Newcastle United win to avoid the long way round. City still have a lot of work to do, up against a dangerous Galatasaray side. Liverpool should have enough against Carrick, but this season, nothing comes easy.
3 away, 4-1, emphatic, and Liverpool have been sliced apart.
Spurs win to avoid the punishment round, but a bad night in Frankfurt and the playoffs are likely. Newcastle United go to Paris Saint-Germain. The two teams are level on 13 points, with others right on their heels. A draw may not be enough for either side. Chelsea, currently in 8th, right on the cusp. They travel to Napoli, who have to win to stay alive, but even a win could leave Liam Rosenior sweating on results elsewhere. This is the Champions League final matchday showdown. Every goal, every tackle, live on talkSPORT.
Brilliant, what a build-up Tom's given us there. That's right, all 6 English clubs are looking to secure their place in those all-important top 8 spots. We've got live commentary of PSG versus Newcastle on talkSPORT, and Napoli versus Chelsea on talkSPORT 2, with none other than the sensational, best ever Adrian Durham anchoring this exciting evening of Champions League football. And I am thrilled to bits to say Adrian, who I owe an apology to, because seemingly I said that he said all 6 of the 8 would qualify. I would never for a minute attempt to put words in that man's mouth. Adrian, very good morning. How many do you think will qualify?
Alistair, Steve, I've been listening to the show, absolutely fantastic. That caller you had on who was praising Steve, it absolutely bang on. It's been brilliant this morning, really enjoyed it.
Great.
So keep up the good work. Only another 2 hours to go, Steve, so don't worry too much.
I've been up since 4. Adrian, I've been up since 4 o'clock. What's all that about, by the way?
I know, the breakfast show, mate.
I'm going to tell you, mate, I swear, I came in here, whatever it was, usual, but a minute to 6, right? And Steve's looked at me, and I don't think he had any idea that I was sitting in the big chair. And the look in his face when he found out I was hosting was one of fear, mate. I can tell you, fear.
You're in safe hands. Was it like putting Alistair in goal, do you think, for a big game? Listen, I actually think, obviously, Arsenal have already made it.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool will make it as well. They're home to Carrick. I actually think the rest might have to go through the playoffs. Now, I might be wrong about Spurs, because Frankfurt are out, and Frankfurt, frankly, have been pretty awful. So I think Thomas Frank in Frankfurt could actually get something there, and enough to give them a top 8 place. But I'm actually going with form and thinking Spurs won't make it. So I only think Arsenal already there, Liverpool as well. I think the others may have to go through the playoffs, because even City, I'm at City tonight, home to Galatasaray. Galatasaray got it all to play for too. And what you said earlier is bang on. There is a vulnerability about City because they've got so many defensive injuries.
Yeah. I think they'll be all right, Adrian. I would agree with you up to a point, but I think City will win tonight. But the interesting one that we spoke about earlier this morning, there's a couple of interesting ones, obviously, Ed. But I'm looking at PSG Newcastle intrigues me, because looking at it, that's like a winner takes all as such, because you win it, you qualify. A draw could potentially not be enough for either of them to finish in the top 8.
It's a shootout, isn't it? And it's that's why that's the live game on talkSPORT, and it's such a thriller. Newcastle's away form, and Steve, you and I were at Everton on Monday for talkSPORT, and we talked a little bit about the difference between home form and away form. And I want to throw this at you about Newcastle, because they've got so many good players, and I appreciate they lost at home at the weekend as well. So the home form is not exactly 100%. But I look at that, they're in the top 8, but away to Paris Saint-Germain, can you really see Newcastle United getting the win that they need to guarantee that top 8? Because that's as tough a fixture as they're coming against the European champions, isn't it? Would you go 5 at the back?
Maybe 5 at the back and 4 in front, and leave 1 up top. I did that at Newcastle for a long time. Just shows you how they've evolved over the last 4 years. You know, it's quite incredible now that they're playing Paris Saint-Germain. And let me tell you, I'm delighted for everybody connected with Newcastle. Since the takeover happened, they're in the Champions League. They're competing against the champions of Europe tonight in their own backyard. It's going to be very, very difficult, I would have to say. And I heard yesterday that they're practically getting close to full strength, the Paris Saint-Germain team. And I have to say, it probably was the best performance I've ever seen from any team in a final.
Incredible.
They were incredible. Absolutely in that European Cup final. So they've got it all on. But listen, this is what Newcastle have badly wanted over the years. The supporters have wanted it, and the club have now got the financial clout to go and compete and be in the Champions League. It's all on. It's going to be a really, really difficult game, but you can never write them off. That's for sure, because they've got some very, very good players. Unfortunately, I think Guimaraes is vitally important to them. Was he rested at the weekend? Because it's amazing, one player, but in the 4 years he's been there, when he's not played, Newcastle not won. So that's a credible statistic. So let's hope he's fit and Joe Linton's fit, and let's see what they can do.
Ed, what about, another great game, absolutely great game. Napoli got a bit of a going over at the weekend, obviously, but they've got everything to fight for against Chelsea.
Well, I'm amazed at Napoli. They're not even in a playoff position at the moment. So they've got it all to fight for as well. They're in that bottom 12 group of clubs. They've won only 2 of their 7. And I think we all expected Napoli to give it a right go after winning the Italian title the season before. So I have concerns about Chelsea. And again, it's something Steve and I spoke about on Monday night on talkSPORT in the build-up to the Everton game. And that's Liam Rosenior and how I think we both felt he's been unfairly treated so far, because there's been a lot of focus on how he looks, on what he says in press conferences, and really the focus should be on the football. And actually, it's not been that bad so far, the football. In fact, the results have been really good. So I can see Chelsea. I think they've got the players to get the result they need in Naples tonight. This one's live on talkSPORT too. But in terms of like whether they are going to get that, because Napoli have got so much to fight for just to get a playoff place, I think that's going to be really intense, that one. This is like a major test. A bit like the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final in midweek when Chelsea go to Arsenal 3-2 down. Big tests. And these big tests are what really defines whether you become a success or not as Chelsea manager. So this is the number one big test for Liam Rosenior. Can he secure that top 8 place against a side that's not even in a playoff place? I think most Chelsea fans will be thinking that with the players he's got, he probably should be going there and getting the result, but let's see.
Ed, what about, Arsenal haven't put a foot wrong in the tournament, to be brutally honest. In this particular tournament, they've been excellent. A little bit more pressure, I would suggest, on Liverpool to get a result. You don't see anything wrong there, do you?
Well, I don't, until that press conference yesterday from Arne Slot. I mean, I was just baffled by some of the things that he said. You mentioned it earlier. You were talking about it earlier. I just think it's a really odd one. I can't make sense of it. I've actually got to watch it back because I just need to understand exactly what he was trying to say. Liverpool should be cruising tonight home to Carrick. It should be an absolute cruise for them to secure that top 8 place. Look, they're on 15 points.
I think we've lost them. We've lost Ed. Eh? Are you there, Ed? We've lost Ed.
Wow.
That's a shame, but I can guarantee you one thing. We won't lose him tonight. We've got him back. Ed, we lost you there for a minute. You carry on, pal.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, and I'm saying that Liverpool should make it through. I really think strongly they will get the result tonight. It's just what impacts Arne Slot's press conference might or might not have, not just on the players, but on the fans at Anfield this evening. I was listening to the Sports Bar last night. There were 1 or 2 calls about Arne Slot, and they're baffled by it. And I am as well. So let's see what happens, because I think there might be fallout from what he said yesterday, Arne Slot.
Hey, just a quick one before I let you go. The format, are you enjoying the format?
I personally am. I do understand there are misgivings. I prefer it to the previous format. Let's put it that way.
So do I, mate.
I think there's you can maybe tweak a few things, but I love the fact that in terms of like that playoff place and the top 8 going through automatically to the knockouts, you've got how many teams? 1, 2, 3. You've got 7 teams, 8 teams on 13 points, and we're in this jeopardy of the final day. Wow. I don't think you had that before necessarily. So I think it's brilliant. They're all playing at the same time as well. I personally think it's a success.
Brilliant, mate. Enjoy your football tonight. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, Ali. Cheers, Steve.
Take care, mate.
Bye-bye, mate.
Now, next we're going to put Brucey back in the spotlight once again, mate, with us. No rest.
What have I got now?
Here it's coming.
Wow, you're never going to see anything like it again. Wait till you see this.
It's time for Brucey's Bonus.
How's the bacon, did you say?
Who thought this up? Is this you, Ollie? Ed, that's Ollie. He's actually he's holding a hand up. He's delighted with it. Remember, you're not to answer this straight away, Brucey. Your third Brucey's bonus question is this. Back in 2024, you were linked with a Jamaica job. Now that Steve McClaren has left his post and is vacant again, surely after your recent trip you consider a move to the sunny Caribbean. If not, would you take an international job right now if the situation came about? Find out the answer after this. Stay with us, guys.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
We're jamming. I wanna jam it with you.
Be a bit of Bob. Cannot beat a bit of Bob. 8:18, Wednesday the 28th of January. Ali and Steve with you this morning. And Steve, back in 2024, you know.
2024. Yeah, that's only a couple of years ago. I can remember from then. Come on.
You were linked with a Jamaica job.
Yes.
Steve McClaren has left his post. It's vacant again. You fancy about you? That's right up your street, the Caribbean.
Oh, the Caribbean. I've just been to the Caribbean. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? The last time in 2024, I thought I was getting it, and all of a sudden, as Steve McClaren has pipped me to it. So I did ring the guy and say to him, "Have you been talking to the wrong Steve? Or you got mixed up?" But something happened anyway. But they obviously gave it to Steve McClaren, but yeah, I mean, look,
and it might listen,
at the time it was.
It might have been a good time to get him as well.
Well, they've still got a playoff game, I believe. But back in the time, all they wanted to do was qualify for the World Cup, and they had an outstanding chance because obviously America, Canada, Mexico are automatically qualified with it. And when you look at the players that Jamaica have got, they've got a lot of players who play in England for a start. So it might have been something that would have been interesting to me. Certainly an international job at my age, maybe. We'll see. But I've really enjoyed working in the media, and let me tell you, sometimes when you're watching from afar, and I'm watching Everton versus Leeds the other day, and you're looking at the dugout and looking at the changes that they're making and the stress that they go through, and sometimes a little bit easier just to sit and commentate and enjoy the football match. And I really enjoyed
right,
it.
Well, that was going to be my question to you. Clearly, you look at it, I'm guessing, for a completely different perspective. There's no pressure as such. You're thinking, I need to make a change here, I need to do this. You can just enjoy
it. And what I do find fascinating now is what was David Moyes going to do in the first half?
Yeah.
And the experienced manager like he is, what's he going to do? What's he going to change? And he changed the formation. He went to a back three, made 2 substitutions, made a back three, and all of a sudden they were better. They were better.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been any worse in the first half, to be brutally honest. But and then I was fascinated by Daniel Farke, what he was going to do.
He's done well, eh?
He's done really well, and he stumbled on a back three, and they've done really well over 10, 11 games. When did they come under the pump? He changed and went back to a back four, and just a total sort of different. Fascinating to watch, and really, I enjoy that part of it immensely.
Great. OK, well, now it's time to get the latest odds with Coral and John Hill. Here we go.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
John, a very good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Steve. Yeah, really well, thank you. Not much of a voice left this morning for that 90th minute Rochdale winner last night against Southend. What a result that was, Ali, for us.
Well, do you know something?
Top of the league.
I was thinking about you, mate. I was absolutely thinking about you. And I looked, I think it was Gilmore got the winner about 90.
Yeah.
Tell me, were you there, mate, or did you watch it?
No, unfortunately, that would have been a Tuesday night. I was watching it. Unfortunately, it was on TV on DAZN, so I was running around my living room like an absolute lunatic. I feel sorry for my neighbours, I have to say, but that's the start of the champions, isn't it? You think, Steve, your United side back in the day under Fergie used to always come up with a 90th minute winner, didn't they? And Rochdale seem to be finding that this season.
There's nothing better than that. That's for sure. To get a last minute winner, what a team you support, and you know it's a sickener if you're on the receiving end of it. There's nothing worse. But you have to tell me, come on, the Geordies are champing at the bit now of what sort of price are they tonight? What sort of price are they to win in Paris?
Yeah, well, what a huge game it is, and it's so much at stake, isn't there? When you look at that table, so tight, PSG and Newcastle locked on the same number of points, trying to get in to that last 16 directly. Newcastle 7-2 for a victory tonight against PSG. PSG 8-13 favourites, and the draw 18-5. So, what kind of chance do you give them, Steve?
Well, I mean, look, it's the stage that they want to be on. They couldn't. It's a really difficult game to go and play the champions of Europe in their own backyard. I do believe that Paris have got some of their big hitters back. Going to be a big ask, but it's 7-2. It's maybe worth a little punt. I'm not a big punter at all, but 7-2 seems decent odds in a big game, I suppose. But they've got it all on to try and get a result there.
It's a big one, John. Because I was looking at it, John, and it's really interesting because, I mean, a draw actually might not suit either of them. It's crazy. I think there's got to be a winner tonight. I think there will be a winner tonight. It would. I mean, I get back. I saw Newcastle playing Paris a couple of years back, and they were nothing short of tremendous and get the most controversial, ridiculous penalty given against them. So it wouldn't be the biggest surprise because I don't think PSG are firing on all cylinders yet, mate.
No, you're quite right. And this is what it's all about. This is why Newcastle, wanted to be back in the Champions League. These are the games to dream of as a fan. There'll be loads of Newcastle fans out in Paris today enjoying themselves, no doubt, in the afternoon. And then the game this evening at the Parc des Princes. And, good luck to them. They're actually 9-2. We've actually got betting on the top 8 teams at the end of this league phase. And they're actually 9-2, Newcastle. So maybe that could be the way to play. As you say, draw no good to them. They'll try and win tonight. And hopefully they can book their place. We've got 6 teams, haven't we, in the Champions League this season? And all 6 have got a chance.
It's incredible, mate. It's incredible. We'll start with the 3 home sides. I'm guessing the 3 will be odds on: Arsenal, Liverpool and City.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Arsenal will rest players tonight. There's no doubt about that. They'll be licking their wounds after that defeat against United. But they're guaranteed top 2 out there. And they are one of the sides that are at the top end of the betting. Yes, they are 7-2 favourites to lift the trophy. So great chance for Arsenal this season in this competition. And then looking at some of the other English teams in action tonight, Liverpool, it's been tough, hasn't it, for Arne Slot in the Premier League? But in the Champions League, everything's gone straightforward so far this season. They're 1-7 to beat Carrick. Manchester City 1-4 against Galatasaray. They'll be coming up against a couple of former players tonight, won't they? Leroy Sané and Gundogan heading to the Etihad. And the other English team, Chelsea, coming up against their former boss, Antonio Conte. They're 6-5 to win in Italy tonight. That's never an easy place to go, is it, Naples? So Napoli 21-10 to prevail in that one. So yes, so much to look forward to. It's going to be hard work keeping up with all these games tonight, isn't it? All
brilliant,
taking
mate.
place at 8 o'clock. It's a bumper night.
I would just
what sort of price? What sort of price would 6 of them to finish in the top 8? What sort of price would that give?
Ooh, that's a very good question, Steve.
You haven't got the answer, have you?
No, unfortunately not. I've not quite had my coffee so far this morning.
John,
so,
that's where the experience of Steve-O would have thrown in a 61 or something. He would just have made up. And North London, Tottenham, the Tottenham fans will be in outrage if we don't ask what their chances are in Frankfurt this evening. Frankfurt with a poor campaign.
Yeah.
And I said to Bruce earlier, John, I haven't seen a lot of Tottenham, but I saw them in the previous Champions League game against Dortmund, and for an hour 45 minutes they were actually excellent, really excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, they're odds on, actually. They share the odds on Tottenham, 10-11 to win tonight. So we make them firm favourites. Frankfurt 11-4. The draw 29-10. So good luck to Spurs tonight. And you think about it, there's been 6 Premier League managers already gone so far this season. Yeah, obviously, Thomas Frank's seriously under pressure. He could be the 7th one if results don't change fast for him.
John, what about any news build up for Cheltenham? What about Constitution Hill? How's the Henderson stable looking and things like that? What's going on?
Yeah, well, obviously it was a disappointing injury to Sajida, wasn't it, on Saturday at the trials day. So Constitution Hill could now be the horse for Nicky Henderson in the champion hurdle. But we're going to get some clues over in Ireland this weekend. It's the Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown on Saturday and Sunday. They've had a lot of rain out there. I was just looking at some of the reports yesterday. The clerk of the course said it was waterlogged in certain areas, but they're confident of that meeting going ahead. So hopefully we get the green light for that this weekend. We'll see Galopin Deschamps, the dual Gold Cup winner, trying to win a 4th Irish Gold Cup. He absolutely loves it at Leopardstown. His record there is outstanding. He's the 11-10 favourite in that one. We've got the Irish champion hurdle, Lossiemouth, now the favourite for the champion hurdle. Yeah. She'll be taking on brighter days ahead. So we'll get some really big clues in Ireland. There's always a great atmosphere out there. I think Simon Clare is heading out there for the 2 days, so he'll enjoy himself, no doubt. And actually, good luck to Sean Bowen, the Coral ambassador. He'll be riding Haiti Couleur in the Irish Gold Cup. So we'll find out a lot about him. He'll be looking to... great. Listen, it's a great season as well. Yeah. He's already ridden 180-plus winners, so he's not far from his 200 mark, is Sean. And it'd be great if he could ride the winner of the Irish Gold Cup and put Haiti Couleur's in the Gold Cup picture for the festival in March.
Brilliant, John. We're looking forward to it. You enjoy your football tonight, mate.
Cheers, boys. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks, John.
That was a look ahead today. Sir, it was a look at the latest odds, I beg your pardon, with Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Now, do not forget a massive breakfast show tomorrow morning reacting to all the brilliant football, and we'll also be joined by some great guests. Former United defender Phil Jones is going to tell us if Michael Carrick should get the job permanently, and Masters champion Danny Willett is on as well to discuss the ongoing drama with Live Golf. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Set your alarms, guys. Now, coming up, we're going to turn our attention to Manchester United and whether Steve's former teammates need to stop criticising the team in their podcast. 03717, that's a bit interesting. 223344 is the number if you want to have your say. Give us a call, guys. That's coming up next.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Okay, 8:33. I just received a message, Brucey.
Yes. From Big Dion.
Big Neon Dion.
Uh-oh. He left me in a mess, I have to tell you.
He's looking forward to seeing you, he said.
Do you know he drinks bitter like he's gone out of fashion? I think he might have gone to Guinness now as well, by the way. And he drinks it as like he's drinking pop.
Now, I don't know, but it looks to me as though he's one of these guys that could handle it all day.
Yes.
Like Dion.
Yes, he is. It doesn't flinch with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely doesn't.
The worrying type.
Yeah, the worrying type. Doesn't move on him.
Very
and
good.
it never really has done. No. Back in the day when he first came to United, he started drinking Boddington's bitter.
Remember that?
Boddington's bitter. And Dion was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Brilliant, mate. Well, I hope you're in good form, Dion. This is talkSPORT Bricks. Arnold Clark saving your next car in the real sale. It's the UK's biggest used car sale. Ali and Steve with you this morning. Now we are going to turn our attention to Manchester United. What a couple of weeks they've had. Or certainly a couple of days since Michael Carrick's taken over. You were at Old Trafford for 9 years. Bruce played over 300 times for the club, 3 titles, 3 FA Cups, 1 League Cup. Plenty going on there. And obviously captain the side for 2 years, so I think you are well within your rights to have an opinion and be called a club legend. Talking of Man United legends, Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt were speaking on their podcast, The Good, the Bad and the Football, discussing the current level of this Arsenal team.
If Arsenal win the league, this could be the worst team to win the league. To shout. If you're thinking of picking a team of the season and you pick a front four, the Arsenal team gets in that. Look at previous champions. You think Liverpool's forward's brilliant.
You put
City's forward brilliant.
In, wouldn't you?
Possibly the only one, Saka. Yeah, possibly the only one. And I don't think he's been brilliant. I don't think he's scored that many goals this year or assists.
Did you see that yesterday? The top goal scorers for Arsenal, the third in their list is own goals.
Yeah.
No.
Now, Now, I've got to say, and I know it's your opinion you're after, there's no way if they win the league, they're the worst team to win the league. Right? There's just no way. They've hardly put a foot wrong this season, by the way, Arsenal, just for the record, right? They get beat by United, who have been, last couple of games have been excellent.
Yep.
They get beat by a wonder goal up in Liverpool, so always like free kick, and I think they've had 3 defeats, whatever it is. Their Champions League performances have been outstanding. So they can't be the worst team if they win the league, Brucey. Come on.
No, I mean, I don't know where Scholes's getting. I don't know where Scholes's getting that one from. I have to say, we have to question it too, because Arsenal have, as I said, Arsenal are so strong in all departments. I can get where he's coming from in the forward areas, because it's always a little bit of a concern. Your number 9 or your strikers, and I always judge any team, the real quality ones anyway, of what they've got at the top end of the pitch, because they're the most important. That and your goalkeeper, of course. But typical Scholesy, isn't it, to come out with something like that? We've never heard from him for 30 years, and then he comes and makes statements like that.
He's making up for lost time.
He's making up for lost time now, him and Butty. But I kind of go with that one, and because I think this Arsenal team are really, really good. I mean, I know Man United have beaten them with 2 wonder goals at the weekend, but their overall play, the way they are, they're tough enough. They've just got to, they've got to get over the line, which is always the hard part. My time at Man U back all those years ago, the first win in the title was the hardest by a country mile. And once they get that over the line, the squad of players they've got, they've been very, very good. And what they've done and been steadfast behind Mikel and the job he's done, they've quietly built a really, really good squad of players. And they could win. They could win. They could quite easily win the Champions League and the Premier League. Of course they could. Quite easily.
Absolutely, they're good enough to do that. You're talking about the first title, the hardest one to win. And I hope I'm right, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the iconic when Kiddo sinks to his knees and the gaffer's out in the touchline?
The gaffer's out in the touchline and dancing away. And
it's amazing.
And do you know something? Any time I speak about the 2 goals against Sheffield Wednesday, everybody remembers it and thinks, wow, we've won the league. They were the 2 headers that won the league. And of course, I go along with it, Ali. Oh, I give it plenty. Oh, yeah, them 2 goals that won us the league. We still had 7 games to play.
I know.
But it was the most iconic one, and wasn't often do you see Fergie and Kiddo dancing on the pitch and things like that. It was as if it was yesterday.
Great memories, mate. Another Manchester United legend, without doubt. Roy Keane, of course, is very vocal about his former club. Always has been, always will be. And he's speaking after the win versus Arsenal. These were his quotes, Brucey, right? Mm-hmm. If United win every game until the end of the season, I still wouldn't be giving them a job. I still would not be convinced he's the man for the job. Absolutely not. They need a bigger and better manager. The size of the club and the challenges they face over the next few years, you want a manager you feel can get them winning league titles. Are we going to sit here and believe Michael Carrick can get United winning league titles? Now, whatever we think of those quotes, we'll have a chat about them in 2 seconds. United, I felt, we're clearly in a very, very difficult situation. But then to appoint a caretaker manager over a caretaker manager would have to be as bizarre as it gets.
Yep.
So the fact he's the fact that he's a caretaker manager would indicate they are looking for somebody else or are going to appoint somebody else.
Well, I think it's blatantly obvious to everybody concerned that they weren't going to make a change apart from Ruben Abraham's comments.
Yes.
And once he made them comments, he was a dead man walking, as far as I think we all were astounded.
Did he do it deliberately?
Quite possibly. I mean, it's very, very difficult to judge whether he's done it on purpose to get out of there.
You wouldn't rule it out, though, would you?
You wouldn't rule it out. I would hope not, but obviously there was a frustration there with him. And
I met him a couple of times, Bruce, and you'll have met him yourself.
Oh, we all liked him.
Engaging, really.
We all liked him. I think all Man United fans wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
I think there's no question about that. I think what took over in the end was, and what's crept into the game over the last few years in particular, is style of play. And what formation are you going to play? And obviously there's been conversations with him in the board or director of football. You would have thought, looking from the outside, of when you've got a few injuries, why don't you change? Why have you got to be steadfast? They played so well in the game where they drew 4-4 and they played a back 4, if you remember. And then the week after, he reverts back to a 3. So obviously conversations have had at higher level. Now we go on to the situation now. So I don't think they wanted to make a change. So they've given themselves a bit of time. And the one thing Michael Carrick will understand about Man United is how to deal with it all and what's coming. Because no matter what experience you have, wherever you are in the world, once you become part of Manchester United, the scrutiny, under the spotlight, everything you do is analysed and taken. They are a story what everybody wants. The one thing about Michael is he's been there, done it, wore the T-shirt, knows what it's all about in terms of how to handle the club. And he did it magnificently as a player. He was calm and assured, and the way he's handled himself over the last couple of weeks has given himself an outstanding chance. And it looks from the outside is he's simplified everything, put people in the right positions, put fullbacks as fullbacks, wide players as wide players, and made it as simple as that. And always, Man U have got good players. I always thought that they were just drenched in this system where I think there's one team who've played a back three or back five, really, and that was Chelsea under Conte.
Yeah.
Played a rigid back five and won the league and did it well.
To be fair, Palace did it with success last year.
Yeah, they won the FA Cup with it, but nobody's won the Premier League with it. And again, I thought, he was going down the route, and certainly the board have backed him in terms of his players. Also with Michael, I have to tell you, Martinez getting fit, Harry Maguire being available, and Mbeumo back, few injuries back, certainly helped, because there was times for Hammer, I've seen them at Leeds when they're playing two rookie centre-halves, really, in vital positions. And them kids are going to be good players, by the way. The two of them, the two centre-halves.
Yeah.
But there's nothing quite like experience when you need it. And Michael's tapped into it, used it very, very well, handled himself wonderfully well over the last 2 weeks. And you'd have to say at this particular moment, put himself in pole position. It's took the pressure off the board, because arguably the best performance we've seen in Man United over Man City game a few weeks ago was as good as Man United have played for a long, long time. Yeah, so fair play to him. Got them playing and playing well.
I want to specifically ask you about Harry Maguire. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for Harry Maguire. I really have. He comes back into that team. I think a lot of the criticism he gets is totally unjustified.
I don't know where it comes from, Harry, because really he's never let England down either. He's never ever let Man U down. He seems to have been the whipping boy for all the failings that have happened at Man U over the years. And when you really just analyse Harry, you can name on one hand how many mistakes he's made, always been responsible for something. And that goes for England too, You can't beat a bit of experience in that position, because I think it's one position, and I know for myself, you get better with age. Certainly get better with age. And Harry coming into the team, certainly Martinez too, certainly have given them a stability and give them a platform which obviously they've enjoyed. And by the two performances they've put in, I don't think we can argue that as good as we've seen Man United play for a good few years.
Without doubt. I want to ask you as well, briefly before we go to a break, Martinez has come back from injury. He looks apart, but also in forward areas. Bruce, you speak about it, handling the situation. I think Manchester United in the recent past, have bought players that haven't really been able to handle the situation. And by that I mean handle a club, handle everything. I look at Cunha, I look at Mbeumo, and the first thing I would say is they look as though they can handle it.
Absolutely, 100%. And do you know something? They've played in the Premier League too, which helps. They understand it. Certainly the two lads they've brought in have given them something a little bit different up top, and it looks as if they've settled in, understand what Man U's about, not fazed by it. In fact, Cunha looks as if there's a type, and there goes for better management. Cunha could have quite easily spat his dummy out by not being starting and not, big summer sign it, and he come on the bench and he made a big impact against Man City and made an even bigger impact against Arsenal, and that shows you that little bit of man management. And to say, he might put his arm around him and say to him, hey, by the way, you're going to come off the pension in the next half hour when people are tired, win us the game, blah, blah, blah. However he did it, masterstroke.
But it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, good to see.
And it's so important, man management like that. Put an arm around and look, I'm starting you, but I'll tell you something right now, you're going to win this game for us. I need you for 30, 35 minutes. Brilliant. Okay, Bruce, you still coming breakfast this morning?
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Yeah, former Liverpool striker Emil Heskey is going to be joining us. Looking forward to that. We'll be discussing Arne Slot and all things Liverpool. Up next, though, Steve Channels, who's in our Forsyth in a classic old game show. I know you're looking at me like, I've got no idea, mate. What's coming next, though?
Come on, Ali. What's coming my way here?
Listen.
Nice to see you.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I've got no idea, mate. I wish I could help you. A twist on The Price is Right is coming next. That was our breakfast preview with a wonderful Travis Perkins hire.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Okay, 8:49, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. Alan and Steve with you this morning. The transfer window is just a few days from slamming shut. I'm refusing to say slamming shut. It just closes, right? But what does the voice of Deadline Day do to get ready for it? Well, we've done some digging, and it seems Jim Ronald McDonald White turns his attention to a drive-through window and said, have a listen to this, guys.
Can I take your order, please?
Welcome to McDeadlines. I'm your server, Jim White. Great to have you on board this lunchtime. Can I take your order, please? 3 Agbonla burgers. Can I just say, mate, that order's not just great, it's absolutely fantastic. And let me tell you, I'm loving it. Gabby, fire up the grill.
Hamburgers galore, nuggets, Pepsis, Fantas.
Come and meet me at the next window, mate, before it slams shut. Get it? Moose, stop eating all the Big Macs, please. And Parlour, get a move on with those Macobra bombs.
Whoa, yeah.
Chizo, you see that guy ahead of you? That's Harry Redknapp. Constantly hanging out of his car window.
I've left my tie behind that Jim gave me, the yellow one.
He tried to order a tower meal. Reminds him of Crouchy.
And Peter Crouch! Oh, my goodness me!
A top-class player as well, real good footballer.
Was that a Diet Coke that you were after there? Have you tried the McCoisty, by the way? Very popular, mate. Bit cheesy for my liking.
Holy moly, guacamole. I mean, that's remarkable.
Right, it's time to speed things up. This next window will close imminently. Let's get this meal deal over the line. Well, what drama we have had. No pickles in the burgers. A rogue chicken nugget in the share box. What more could happen this lunchtime as this deal comes ever closer? And we've got some big breaking news. You're not going to believe this, Simon. He wants fries with that.
Shoving McDonald's in your face dawn till dusk is not going to help you on a dietary basis.
Can I get you any sauces, by the way, mate? I've got sauces everywhere, I'm telling you. And everyone knows that mine are the best. Would you believe it? Peter Odin-Wingies just rocked up outside. That guy just does not get the message. Anyway, there's your order, and that'll be £4 million. Enjoy your day. I've got to deal with this. Peter, mate, I've told you, we've got enough staff already.
Yep, we're going to have wall-to-wall coverage of McDeadline Day right here on talkSPORT. Jim will be joined by Crookie, Danny the Big Tasty, Murphy when the window slams shut. Going to stop writing slams, right? That's all I'm asking. Closes, anything at all, 7 p.m. Tuesday. Then the two nuggets in the sports bar, Jamie and Jason, will be taking your calls from 10 o'clock. So with that in mind, and a famous Bruce alongside me, we thought it should be time for a little bit of this. Right, that was, in case for some of the younger ones out there, that was the iconic The Price is Right theme tune. Brucey, I've got a few players here for you. We're just going to have a wee discussion about them, what The Price is Right for them, and what we think they should do in terms of the transfer window.
Okay.
First up, Raheem Sterling.
Well, he's got to a certain age now and a certain level of contract that I'm assuming not many can afford. So he'd probably be a free transfer, I would have thought, because I don't know how else you're going to shift him, and because of his salary.
Yeah, I'm thinking from Raheem's point of view, Brucey. You're right. At his age, surely he just wants to go and play somewhere and enjoy the latter stages of his career.
Well, as me and you know, Ali, nothing will ever replace playing, does
Correct.
it? It's
everything else
is and before you know it, it's over in a flash.
Yeah. So,
yeah, you would think that he'd maybe just want to go and play. Does he go and play abroad? Does he go and play somewhere else? He's been a wonderful player, top player for England and Chelsea and Man City over the years. He wants to do it now. You would think just go and enjoy somewhere playing, and then think. Obviously, he's got to think in the long term and what he's going to do next.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. He's an interesting one. A player I've not had a chance to speak to you about, but I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion on him. Mickey van de Ven, because I personally am a massive fan. I think clearly Tottenham, when him and Romero at the centre defence, just as important. I think he's a terrific player. But do you know what I think he has a wee bit as well? And tell me if I'm wrong. He seems to be a calming influence on Romero to a certain degree as well, who we know is capable of maybe flying off the handle a little bit. But he seems to be a calming influence when he's around them.
They're a good mixture, the two of them together. Both very, very talented.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about Van de Ven, he seems to pick up a lot of injuries for a centre-back, which is never great, because, that's the one area of the pitch that you want a bit of stability. And I know that personally. I mean, Sir Alex, brought me back to Man U for years and years ago, where I'm replacing the legendary Paul McGrath, who,
of course,
was as good a centre-back as you're ever going to see. But
tremendous.
Unfortunately, what a player. And unfortunately, he had knee problems and he couldn't train all week and missed a lot of games through injury. By the way, went to Aston Villa and won Player of the Year 5 years on the spin and the PFA Player of the Year.
Incredible.
Oh, incredible. But week in and week out, because of his knee problems and that, he couldn't play as often. And that's my only concern with Van de Ven. He seems like a wonderful player and a great athlete, and unfortunately picks up too many injuries.
Not only to ask you about a player you know, Tammy Abraham, back in the country. Villa, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking Tammy to Aston Villa and didn't get long to work with him, unfortunately. But he went on to score 25 goals, I think, in the year that Aston Villa got promoted. He's a talent, and it'd be good to see him back. He was really, really enjoyed his stint at Aston Villa, and I think the attraction going back there and working under Emery, because I believe he is as good a football boss as they're out there.
I think you're right, mate.
This guy is,
and I think he's doing exceptionally well, and his hands seem to be tied a little bit at this moment in time.
Well, there again, it's like Newcastle and Everton.
Exactly.
This financial fair play.
Is it fair?
Well, it's not fair, because it stops Newcastle, and it certainly stops Aston Villa from getting where they want to get to. Now,
could that effectively stop Villa winning the title?
Yes, it could do. I mean, they're only 3-4 points, and I know that the owner's ambition of the two of them who own Aston Villa, and they'll do everything they possibly could, and have got the finances to do it, but they're hamstrung with the financial fair play, and that goes for a lot of the clubs. Newcastle have had to let 2 or 3 of their young players go. There's no way they wanted to let Elliot Anderson go.
Oh, no.
But because of financial fair play, they've had to. And this is the problem, that any club trying to make that leap into it to compete with the big boys, it's a difficulty because of this financial fair play.
Next one, finally, Brucey, a player I think has been absolutely tremendous recently in general since he came to Manchester United, and that'd be Bruno Fernandes. There's one or two mumps and moans about the way he throws hands up in the air and all that kind of stuff. I'm of the opinion he has been sensational.
Absolutely sensational in what has been a struggle for Manchester United over the last 3, 4, 5 years. When you look at his statistics, and a lot of people dive into statistics, he's been a fabulous signing. The standout signing over the last 10 years for Man United, in my opinion. There's nobody done more than Bruno. Good to see him in his position as well as a 10.
100%.
Because he's in that position, he links the play well, sees a pass, scores a goal. The kid, he's got a little bit of a flamboyancy about him at times, and a little bit, he gets himself in a tiz now and again, but he's a wonderful footballer, and arguably Man United's best player over the last 5-6 years.
Isn't it amazing, though, Brucey, that how we all see the game kind of differently at times? Because I'm sitting looking at United and I'm saying, surely they go to a 4-2 in front and get Bruno into that number 10. That kind of seems obvious to me.
And Man United has always had wide players. Wide players. They've always had that people who
Coppell, Gordon Hill, you go Ryan, Beckham,
all of them are people who can get you off your seat, create a little bit of magic, crosses into the box. It's pretty simple stuff, and that's what Man U have been fed on over the years, and that's what they've reverted back to, and we've seen a little bit of it in the last couple of weeks. Let's hope it continues.
I think Fernandes has been absolutely tremendous. Coming up, we're going to turn our attention back to the games tonight. Newcastle, I've already mentioned, they're in Paris with a place in the top 8 on the line, but Anthony Gordon has made the headlines again. We're going to find out why next.
What's your club or country's sliding doors moment? Its meaning originating from the 1998 rom-com of the same name, a sliding doors moment in football terms is simply a question of what might have been. An incident in a game where, had it gone the other way, would have altered history. For example, say John Terry had scored that penalty in Moscow in 2008. Chelsea would have been European champions and Avram Grant would have the biggest medal in continental club football to his name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third-place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeat in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Okay, 4 minutes past 9, Wednesday the 28th of January. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. McCoist and Steve Bruce with you this morning, and of course we're joined by Arnold Clark's Real Sale. Huge savings to be had on over 20,000 used cars. Right, lots to come between now and 10 a.m. on the final hour of the show. Legendary England spinner Graham Swan. Swanee will be joining us after England's ODI series. It says brilliant ODI series win. I'll just say ODI series win against Sri Lanka yesterday. I struggle to say brilliant when England.
Oh, come on, Ali.
I know.
Come on, Ali.
True colours are coming out, I'm afraid. Both Joe Root and Harry Brook made unbeaten hundreds in the 53-run win. Certainly very, very entertaining. Those boys can bat, that's for sure. 5-time major trophy winner with Liverpool, Emil Heskey. Emil's going to join us to react to those Arne Slot comments that have wound up one or two of the Merseyside faithful this morning. All that to come and lots more. But now, it's been a strange old season for Newcastle so far.
Laying it back for Voltemada, and then it comes to Bruno Guimaraes! Brilliant hit into the corner. It's a goal that's been coming. It's a goal that Newcastle deserve.
Harvey Barnes turns and shoots. Newcastle have won. 12 minutes after the 90, has won it for Newcastle.
I've seen an upturn in performances generally. I think they've been much more consistent.
The last probably month or so, they've turned it around. I think they won 3 and abouts in the Premier League.
Full time at Molineux, it's stalemate. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0.
Listen, it's not all doom and gloom. We're still in all competitions. We're in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup again.
Ryan Cherky, it's Newcastle 0, Manchester City 2. Hard to see Newcastle turning this around. Newcastle 0 at Villa 2. Villa's long wait for a win at St James's Park, surely over now.
If you look at the League Cup in isolation, they've got to the final twice, won it once, and the semi-final this time. That's consistent.
What's happened has happened this season. We've been slightly inconsistent. But that's in the past, and I think still believe there's more to come. So I'm very positive about what we can deliver.
Yeah, I think the voice of reason there, so Danny Murphy and Lee Clark, to be honest with you. The Geordie started slow this season, with 2 wins from the first 8, and since then they haven't really been able to gather any momentum in the Premier League, but have been terrific in cup competitions. The last couple of results have been pretty disappointing, dropping points against bottom side Wolves before a disappointing loss to Villa at home. What do you think, Bruce? I mean, as simple as you look at the Newcastle team, first 11, 12, 13, very, very good, more than capable of competing, I think, and beating anybody.
Yeah.
But like we already mentioned, when you take League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League,
yeah,
you need more than 13 or 14 players, mate.
And there's the difficulty. Where they are now is where they exactly want to be. They want to be competing. They want to be in the Champions League. They want to be competing for the top 4 or 5. And of course, they've won a trophy, which they haven't done since 1969. Correct. So they've had a wonderful, wonderful 2, 3, 4 years. As I said to you before about financial fair play, they're really, as I said about the kid who went to Notts Forest, Elliot Anderson, they had to sell. So they've got a squad of players which is very, very good, and you might be right about 14, 15, but to compete in all of them, like they're trying to do, they've had a little bit of a wobble and a struggle with it because of just the strength and depth they haven't really got like others have. So it's been a little bit up and down for them, but they're still in a good position in the Champions League. Obviously, the Premier League they've got to try and address and be a little bit more consistent in that. But it's where they want to be, and it's dealing with that now in that situation that they're in to try and build on it. And as we've kept saying, that financially they want to progress, but the hands are tied behind the back.
Here's a question for you, mate. Looking at it, and it's just a thought. Are teams in England at a greater disadvantage, for example, than Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich? Maybe not so much Italian teams, but certainly those teams I mentioned, because their league, you would suggest, I think, isn't as demanding as the top flight in England. And also, Brucey, I don't think there's as much emphasis put on the cups domestically in these countries as it is in England.
No, you're absolutely right with it, Andy. Ali, it's a different league what we play in the Premier League week in and week out. And Anthony Gordon, for example, we know we're going to come on to him. You know, he's top goal scorer in the Champions League. Hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League for a year. That tells you something of what he's playing against every week and the difference in it. The team who they're playing tomorrow, Paris Saint-Germain, are coasting along at the moment. We all know that they're going to win that league by 15 points probably, and now they are just tuning in now, the second part of the season, to progress. They're not really interested in the domestic trophies. Paris Saint-Germain want to win the league and win the Champions League, and that's their concept on it. We and a club like Newcastle, Crystal Palace, it's great to see that they win a trophy. Maybe the first time they've won it in donkey's years. So they're competing. It's amazing the turnaround in 4 years since I left. Neddy took over. My remit back in the day was, it seems a long time ago now, was just to stay in the Premier League. That was the budget of what we were trying to achieve. Now it's trying to attack on all fronts, and they've made remarkable progress in 4 years. They'll have a great time today in Paris, and I'm sure all the Geordies will be all over Paris and enjoying this situation and trying to grasp it and enjoy exactly what's happening at the club at the moment.
I think, all things considered, I think Newcastle, you think, the change in ownership and all that kind of stuff, I think the vast majority of Newcastle fans will be delighted with where they are at this position at this moment in time. They've got their club back and they're in a good position. They really do. So the Geordies, as you say, they might be down to 9th in the league, but their Champions League form has been excellent.
Yep. 4
wins, a draw, 2 defeats. I've seen them inside the top 8 ahead of tonight. Yes, they've got a very, very, arguably the toughest game probably tonight. You could argue Chelsea and Napoli as well, but a really tough game. Winger Anthony Gordon spoke to the media yesterday and he explained why the Premier League is a different ball game entirely to European football.
There's not much control. It's a running game, and sometimes it's about duels. Who wins the duels wins the game, or moments. The Champions League is a bit more of an older style of game. It's a bit more football based, like teams come and try and play proper football. I think in the Premier League now you're seeing a lot more long throw-ins, set pieces. It's become a lot slower and a lot more set piece based, I would say.
Is that fair?
I can vaguely understand where he's coming from.
Well, I think he's got a point in the respect that you look at teams now and they've gone back a little bit. I don't mean back in terms of their ideas and philosophy, but they've gone back to maybe 70s, 80s, 90s with long throws, free kicks. Arsenal, for example. Arsenal is set plays.
I mean, it was frowned upon 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. Frowned upon to take a long throw.
Wrong.
You're prehistoric. You're a dinosaur if you go down that route.
I thought the job as a manager or a coach was to play to the strengths of your team and to win games.
Absolutely.
And if you can do it with a bit of style, great.
Absolutely. But it's so vital, set pieces. And a long throw, if you've got somebody who can throw it and you've got people who can head it, then the ball's coming in the box and you've got 8, maybe 7 or 8 to go and attack it and play from it. So there's no wonder that you're going to score goals from it, because the ball's coming in the area. Now, it seems that everybody in the moment now has got a long throw. I watched it at Leeds the other day and I've seen Man U do it and I've seen everybody do it. It's become part and part, but it's always been there.
Yeah.
It's always been there. I think when I listen to Anthony Gordon there, he's alluding that the Premier League is more difficult than the Champions League. It's the biggest test today. Well, it'd be interesting to see when he comes against a real proper team.
Their 2 fullbacks, in particular last season, Hakimi and Mendes were ridiculous.
We're off the radar, so it'll be interesting to see. But the lad's got 6 goals. He's got 6 goals, and the one thing that's been in question against him, he hasn't scored for it in the Premier League for a year. So, he's trying to make sense of the situation. It's no surprise to me that he thinks that the Premier League, as I said, we've got a chance to have the top 6 teams in the top 8. I mean, that shows you how strong this division, the league is, and what the Premier League is. And the Premier League, we all talk about it. Listen, it's easily the best league in the world by a country mile at the moment. It's the strength and depth of a lot of the teams is huge.
I've got to say, I think I look at the Newcastle team, and I think obviously they get talented players all over the place, Guimaraes, but you look at Gordon, Barnes, Hall, Livramento, all English players doing exceptionally well.
The one thing you need is some of them to stay fit. Yeah. That's a problem for any manager, any head coach, if your big players are not missing. And of course they had the huge thing in the summer where they lost their centre forward in that crucial part of the team in Isak, and trying to replace them is practically impossible. So they've had all that to contend with it, but hey, they're still fighting on all fronts.
Of course, yeah.
So let's see how they get on tonight, which is going to be the ultimate test.
The biggest test for them. There's no getting away from that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, Bruce. Okay, coming up, we're going to turn attention to cricket and whether Harry Brook's drinking celebration was appropriate. Come on, give a guy a break after his game-winning century yesterday.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Right, what we got? 9:18. It's Wednesday the 28th of January. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. We are not messing about. We're going to head down under and get an update from the Aussie Open with talkSPORT's Will Hobbs. Will, what about Djokovic? How's your luck?
Yeah, McCoist, the Novak Djokovic is the story of the day. He's burgled a semi-final spot. He was trailing by 2-0 against Lorenzo Musetti. But thanks to what looked like a groin issue, the Italian was forced to retire injured in the third set. Djokovic admitted he was heading home and that Musetti was in complete control. Don't forget, Djokovic didn't even have to play his last 16 match because his would-be opponent, Jakub Mensik, pulled out beforehand. So the 10-time champ will next face either Jannik Sinner or the American #1 Ben Shelton, who many think is the most likely to challenge the Sinner-Alcaraz duopoly. But there's a golfing class. Sinner's won his last 19 sets he's played against Shelton, and while Shelton's been slamming down some blazing first serves, the machine-like Sinner is diffusing and dealing with pretty much everything and is passing Shelton almost every time he approaches the net. The defending champion is a break-up in the first set, which he leaves 5-3. He's serving to take the first set. Overnight, the women's semi-final lineup was completed. Jessica Pegula and Elena Rybakina clinched their spots in the semi-finals, beating Amanda Anisimova and Iga Swiatek respectively. But right now it's Sinner versus Shelton, and the defending champion is proving his worth. He's serving for the first set. He's 5-3 up.
The Australian Open update on talkSPORT with TNT Sports. Stream every set live on Discovery Plus or watch TNT Sports channels on EE, Sky and Virgin Media. Subscription required. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Great stuff. Well, now it's time for a bit of this. Brucey, I've got absolutely no idea, but I've been told. You aware what that is?
Oh, no.
That's good, because I don't either.
Better than the Backstreet Boys.
It is, slightly. It is, of course, it says here, the iconic walk-on music for WWE legend Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're a wrestling man, no?
Definitely not, Ali. Definitely
I
not.
tell his story.
Apart from Mick McManus.
Jackie Pallo. Big Daddy, giant haystacks.
Yeah, and he didn't like his ears touched, did he, Jackie Pallo? Was that him?
It?
Yeah, I remember
Mick
it well.
McManus, one of the boys.
Mick McManus,
hey,
yeah.
Brucey, I took the kids, I don't know how many years ago, man. Took the kids years ago. They were into the wrestling. I took the boys to the SECC up in Glasgow, and that Undertaker was fighting. Right,
oh, really?
Brucey, I've never seen like it in my life. It took him about 25 minutes to go in. Into that ring, they're playing all the music, dun, 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 and his ring walk was about 25 minutes, and they get knocked out in about 3 seconds, man. It was unbelievable.
Really?
Ah, dear me. Well, the reason we're discussing WWE and Stone Cold Steve Austin is because England skipper Harry Brook celebrated a century against Sri Lanka yesterday by pretending to smash 2 beers together, just like Stone Cold used to. But it comes just a couple of months after he punched a bouncer in New Zealand after sinking one too many pints. England's Joe Root has told talkSPORT that Harry Brook has done more than enough to earn the respect back from his team.
I think he's led extremely well throughout the 3 games. I think you watched an innings in the last game where he played the situation and what was required of him, and then clearly today has shown his versatility and the options that he has and the ability he has to move games forward very quickly. So I think it's been a great series for him, and it's gone a long way in earning that trust back, I think.
Well, should he have thought twice about an alcohol-based celebration, or was it just a bit of fun? There's nobody, nobody better on the planet to ask that. Was the celebration with a little glass of beer too much, or was it good humour? The man we've got is Graham Swan. Swanee, good morning.
Hello, Ali. Why am I the best man in the world?
Because
you get Freddie Flintoff on, not me.
Freddie was unavailable, Swanee, so we went to the next best man.
I'll be anyone's substitute.
Listen, first of all, how are you, mate? Great to see you.
I'm good. I've just realised my glasses are reflecting, so I'm taking them off. I'm really good, mate. I enjoyed watching Harry bat. And the thing I like about him, because he is a bit maverick, and he is from Yorkshire, and I don't think they go to school past the age of about 12 these days, cricket players. And so you always know that something is coming. And like pretending to smash 2 beers together. I mean, it is a slap in the face for everyone who says he should be contrite and sorry after his behaviour in New Zealand, that I don't condone, by the way. But, he did get a brilliant 100, and it's almost like Joe's there egging him on at the other end. 2 Yorkshiremen in the middle, you're going to have something crazy happen.
Well, it was a bit special. I mean, with all greatest respect, they're unbeaten. Was it 191 between the two of them? It was a bit special.
Yeah. It is, and the good thing is that, because of the win through in Australia, because England lost the Ashes, everyone's looking for a reason to have a go at England and get stuck into them. So the fact that both of them got good hundreds and they've won convincingly over there, which is a very tricky place to win games of cricket, by the way, in Sri Lanka. I think it reflects well on the fact that England have been able to bounce back and they're looking good going into a World Cup in a couple of weeks. Celebration aside, because that was just daft, that was stupid. But it's been hearty to watch England playing good cricket again, because I was in Australia for 6 weeks and it was soul destroying. Trust me, when you're working for the press, it's even worse than being a player. You don't have security guards walking around getting rid of idiots. You just get absolutely abused left, right and centre.
Nah, not at all, Swanee. I thought the Aussie cricket fans would love you, mate. Total respect for you out there. They'd be singing your praises, surely, no?
Not the ones in our hotel, anyway. No, it wasn't so bad. It was the ones I was working with. I was working with like Merv Hughes and Brad Haddett. Honestly, I was just like the punch bag. But Steve's there. He's a football manager, so he knows what being a punch bag's all about.
Oh, let me tell you, and it's interesting to see now the cricketers are getting it instead of the football players. Exactly. And it's like anything, isn't it? If you win and you bat like you did yesterday, you can practically get away with anything.
Yeah.
And when you lose, all the questions. But I want to say, Swanee, about him, he is immensely talented. Some of the stuff that he played yesterday and some of the shots he played were absolute. The timing of it, and some of the as I said, some of the shots he played were absolutely. It was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, he's a bit of a freak. He's one of those guys that anything he turns his hand to, he's just naturally brilliant at. There's a golf course near me called Hollingwell. There's a very, very hard golf course. I had my best round ever, and I went round 1 under par, and I was absolutely buzzing.
Wow.
And I saw him the next day, and he went, "Oh yeah, I didn't play that well, but I was 4 under." And I just thought, "You horrible bit of work, you nasty bit you've just ruined my week." So he is one of those players who he's got that the X factor that you look for in sportsmen. Whether you should have one of those leading the team, a lot of people will question.
We seem to like Swanee. We seem to like a little bit of a maverick, though, don't we? In charge of the England team. Yeah, a little bit of a maverick. Why not?
Yeah, well, Stokesy, you could say he was as far.
Is the manager one too?
Yeah, Baz is. Baz is one of those guys who's...
And what about Robert Key? Is he another one? Is he another little maverick?
Well, yeah. You're going to keep going. You're going to name everyone until you get to me, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, obviously, English cricket is currently run by absolute mavericks.
Love it.
Swanee, what about the World Cup? We're looking forward to the World Cup. Who's going to stop India? Anybody?
I think England can if they play well. I think Australia are like Germany. I always say it's like Germany in the Football World Cups. Nobody likes them, but they're always really good and get to the final. So I Australia are going to be the ones to watch. I really hope England go there and just, and come away with a win, because that would sort of put a gloss. It'd paper over cracks to the Test team this winter. But, it's not an easy thing to do to win the T20 World Cup. It's incredibly hard. And I'm incredibly proud to be part of the first ever England team to do it, Ali. I know you were about to bring that up.
I know, absolutely.
Swanee, what about tonight? I'm guessing you'll be glued to your television tonight watching the football, your beloved team.
You know what? Yeah, I would be, but after watching them against Villa on Saturday, Newcastle without Bruno Guimaraes at the minute, it's scary to watch. I know, because they're going to concede a couple every game, and without Bruno against Villa, they just look flat, and they just look like they didn't have any spark there. So I don't know. I will be watching it. I'll be hiding behind the couch though, and just jumping up every time I hear a roar.
I'm hearing Swanee that he's playing. I think he maybe could have played at the weekend. It was a slight ankle, and I think if the roles had been reversed, I think he would have played. So I think he's fit for tonight.
Swanee, it was interesting.
I hope you're right, but in the first 5 minutes, PSG are going to try and kick the living daylights out of him and get him injured again. So,
Swanee, just before I go, mate, it was interesting. You never get back to me. I sent you a message after Newcastle's game at Sunderland. Following a strange enough, you never get back to me. Anyway, I'll let.
Yeah. My phone was broken that week.
Was that what it was? Okay, mate. Listen, great to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time to join us this morning, pal. See you
soon. Boys.
See you.
All the best. And don't forget the T20 series between England and Sri Lanka gets underway on Friday, and is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Now, if you like Swan and you love your cricket, listen up, because we're giving away a week for two, at the 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town every day of the match at one of the world's greatest cricket grounds, with flights, hotel and spending money all covered. Listen up, here's how to enter right now for your chance to win. Text win to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. The lines close on the 6th of February 26 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer the phone, of course. If it rings, 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, here it is once again. Text 83338 now. Text win to 83338 now. Coming up, Alan Slaughter has wound up the Liverpool fans with his comments yesterday. We're going to find out why next.
Cricket balls are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting and even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know, here's the tale. Tennis has its roots in 12th century France when people used to make balls from all sorts. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur and even human hair. Uniformity was found centuries later when people started making balls out of something called vulcanized rubber, invented in the US. But the balls kept on breaking, so a British lawyer, who also loved tennis, suggested they put a flannel covering on the outside, and thus the tennis ball as we know it was born. One problem, it was either white or black. And when the controller of BBC Two, Sir David Attenborough, decided Wimbledon would be shown in colour on the BBC in 1967, no one could actually see the balls on telly. So the International Tennis Federation went away and created a new colour called Optic Yellow, which would show up without the need for a 4K LED display. Not that anyone had that in the 1960s, of course. Since then, all tennis balls have been covered in that material and have their trademark colour for that exact reason. Amateur tennis players and dogs worldwide are forever grateful. You could say the ITF aced it.
Yep, the news you never thought you'd hear on talkSPORT. Remarkable, Bruce. It's all happened this morning. 9:34, Wednesday, the 28th of January. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark, saving your next car in the real sale. It is, of course, the UK's biggest used car sale. Ali and Steve with you this morning. Now, a dramatic late equaliser for Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium at Liverpool dropped. Late equaliser for Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium meant Liverpool dropped to 6th in the Premier League for the first time this season. How about winner? They currently sit in 36 points after 23 games at this stage. Last year they were in 56 points. Under pressure, boss Arne Slot annoyed Liverpool fans yesterday when he made this claim.
This is not going to be a popular opinion, what I'm going to tell you now. But maybe the reason why we won the league last season is that we had to play Paris Saint-Germain in the last 16. Because, as you know, they beat us. And we had every time a week to prepare for our next game. Maybe that has helped us as well. Maybe if we had to double that program, which Arsenal had, and they dropped a few points in that period of time, that has helped us in winning the league. So we are aware, every manager is aware, the bigger squad you have, the better you're equipped that you are for that many games.
Yep, even looks like that latest news bulletin is affecting the scriptwriters in the studio in there, Steve, I have to say. For context, the reason the fans were annoyed is because when Liverpool were knocked out by PSG in the last 16, they were, in fact, 15 points clear in the Premier League. Clearly, it's not been domestically, it's not been the season Liverpool fans would have wanted, Steve. I get that. We understand that.
And it's quite remarkable football, isn't it? It's quite remarkable because we've turned the clock back 6 months and what they did in the summer and what they recruited and how they won the league last year, all of us are saying,
that's just brilliant.
Wow, they're going to take some beat. Yeah. They've strengthened the team.
From a position of strength?
From a position of strength. I didn't realise until Dean Saunders came on earlier on of how many changes they have made, which is a colossal sum of changes, considering you've just won the league. But certainly in the pre-season, and then did they win their first 5, but they weren't really impressive.
They were scoring late goals.
They were scoring late goals, and everybody's thinking, well, it's just going to be a matter of time. And unfortunately, and that's the beauty of football, just when you think that you've cracked it and you're riding high, all of a sudden it gives you a kick. And I can understand where he's coming from here. He probably hasn't seen that he was 15 points clear when he gets knocked out. But I understand where he's coming from. Listen, there's no doubt about it. If you've got a free week to prepare, Saturday to Saturday, Sunday to Sunday, if you wish, then it makes the job a little bit easier than you're playing Paris Saint-Germain, for instance, Newcastle coming up, Paris Saint-Germain, and then you go to Liverpool on Saturday, and then you've got Arsenal coming up, another semi-final against Man City. It becomes very, very difficult. So I can understand where he's coming from, but I'm sure it's disappointed a few Liverpool fans, of course.
I get it. Well, give us more on that. We're going to bring in a man who's won 5 major trophies at Liverpool, played under you for 2 different clubs. It's Emil Heskey. Emil, a very good morning, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Well, in top form. Well, thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Well, you heard what we're saying there about Arne Slot. Can you understand where the criticism is coming from? Or, listen, I know we're aware, Emil, it goes with the territory, but do you think it's a little bit harsh?
When you're in the hot seat, especially at one of the biggest clubs, everything might seem harsh, but there's an expectation, isn't there? There's an expectation, especially when you were talking about being 15 points clear, cruising to winning the league kind of thing, and then spending the money that you've spent. There's an expectation that comes with that, and they haven't hit their marks. So it's a tough time for them. The thing with management, but especially when it comes to fans, they don't want to hear excuses. They want to see results, and that's the toughest part of it.
It's amazing, Emil, because with Dean Saunders on earlier, and it was interesting to listen to Deal. And I think sometimes what we all forget, myself included, the players they've lost, but also the goals they've lost out throughout the team. You know, the tragic circumstances, obviously Jota, but Diaz, Nunes. I mean, they've taken an entire front line away there as well. And I think allied to the fact, and I don't know whether you agree or not, there has been a little bit of a drop in the standards, I think, from Salah, who's been absolutely out of this world, and probably Van Dijk as well, who, you know, could be one of the best defenders ever to play in the league. You know, these things have allied to Liverpool's, you know, struggling consistent form domestically.
Look, I think when you always have your talismans, and this is the thing. We looked at Liverpool for years, and we were saying that defensively they've been sound. They've been absolutely fantastic, solid. Whoever plays next to Van Dijk has been great. Blah blah blah. And then there's been a change in that really he hasn't hit the standards that we'd grown used to. So that has been difficult for him. But then you always had Mo to dig you out of a bit of a rut at times, and when he isn't giving you them goals, you got to remember before we were very, very lucky to have Mane, we were lucky to have Firmino. Then you like you're saying Diaz, and Diaz gives you so much going forward because he can play off the wing and running in behind. Plus he can play central and then give you different options as well. So once you start once they're no longer available, what do? But then that feeding into what Arne Slot wanted to change the formation, because the formation that he plays now was nothing like what he was playing before.
Yeah, Emil, is it fair to say as well, the lads who they've brought in, I'm particularly looking at Wirtz in particular, it's took a little bit of time to adapt to the Premier League and what it's all about. And of course, also with the expectation of what Liverpool and what the demands are on Liverpool, the changes that they've made, they need a little bit of time. And they've been unfortunate with Isak, with breaking his leg and this, that and the other. But it just looks as if it's took a little bit of time for these lads to settle in and get used to playing in the Premier League and getting used to the demands of what Liverpool entails.
I think, Gaffer, you'll know because you've been the manager at the highest level. Bringing someone into the Premier League is totally different to any other league. The intensity, the ferocity, everything about it, the pressure that the crowd give you, you've got to be able to deal with that. And at times we need to give some of these kids who are coming in a little bit of time to bed in.
Yeah.
At the big clubs, you don't get that.
You just don't
get that time. You've got to try and hit the ground running. And you could afford to have one that takes a little bit of time, but 3 and 4 you can't.
No, you're right. And I didn't realise until Dean said they've made a huge turnaround, and after winning the league, they've made a huge turnaround. And let's not forget 2 fullbacks who've come into the equation, who've been a big part of the Liverpool team, Trent has been a wonderful, wonderful player, and so has Andy Robertson, as we know. They've been terrific for Liverpool over the last few years. And so change inevitably is not. But as I said to Ali at the start of the conversation about Liverpool, when they made the signings they did in the summer, we're all thinking, oh my gosh, what a few signings they've made. And this is just what football is, and the intrigue and how hard the Premier League is, because we all thought that they're all going to be a shoo-in.
Well, the thing is, I think once you see all them signings, I guarantee you, all Liverpool fans were dancing around in their living rooms, saying this is just for the next 5 years.
Yep.
But again, we all know football, and it's why we love it. It's why we have the discussions. It's why we fall out with family members, because you have so much ups and downs, don't you? Which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Emil, tell me, while we've got you on, you can't help but be impressed with Unai Emery and the job he's doing at Villa as well. 4 points off the top of the league. That poor result, or poor performance, whatever you want to call it, Arsenal, seems yesterday's news. A great result at a venue they don't normally do well, Newcastle, at the weekend. They're going well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I think he's put together a squad and a team. Only thing is there's a couple of injuries now, and this is where you have teams like this that you've got to see what their depth is like. And the bigger teams with more players, they probably have the bigger depth in that sense. But he's done a fantastic job bringing players in and making them superstars. Morgan Rogers, obviously I'm from Leicester, so I know Tillemans and players like that who have really gone and done really well.
Just a quick one, Emil, while we've got you on, mate. How are your own boys doing? They're talented lads like their dad.
Yeah, they're doing really well, really well. One's at Sheffield Wednesday on loan. He's doing fantastic at the minute. And then the younger one's playing in the under-21s. They've both made their debut 30 years after me.
Brilliant, Emil. We look forward to their progress. Hoping to do well, mate. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Great to speak to you again, Emil. Take care of yourself, lad. And you.
Ciao.
Cheers, mate. Now, if you like your boxing,
I like it as a spectacle, but I'm not really into it like...
I wasn't throwing out any challenges.
No, I didn't know what's coming on this show. That'd be Bruce Almighty and all sorts of nonsense is coming, isn't it? And Bruce is right, or whatever. Price is right. Sorry, I've got it wrong.
I can't believe they've never even warned you.
I know they haven't warned me about anything.
Diabolical. Now, if you like your boxing, listen up. This Saturday at Madison Square Garden, New York City, it becomes the battleground as Lopez and Shakur Stevenson collide in a high-stakes, must-see showdown for the ring and WBO junior welterweight title. And don't miss the zone's packed fight schedule with fights every week, including this Saturday as Josh Kelly fights for the IBF World Superweight title in Newcastle. Watch all these fights and more only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
We're not finished yet, mate. You've only got 15 minutes to go, but there's another one coming your way, unfortunately. Steve,
really?
Coming up, yeah, I'm afraid so, mate. Steve has managed some great players during his incredible career, but up next we ask him how many of his former players does he want to see in that England World Cup squad. That's next, and Steve's favourite feature. Just cool down, we're going to a break now.
Okay.
Bruce Almighty.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Okay, talkSPORT Breakfast on the home straight, 9:48 this Wednesday the 28th of January. Alan and Steve been with you since 6 o'clock this morning. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. It's now time to give Steve all the power in the world with a bit of this, Bruce Almighty.
Oh my gosh.
Now, for anyone who hasn't seen Bruce Almighty, I have. Jim Carrey's character is given all the power of God for a week. So we thought that our very own Bruce Almighty, you never bargained for this, mate, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You should
I've seen this before sometimes down the line. I'm sure I've got deja vu of last time I was here, maybe a year ago. I don't know.
That cheers me up knowing those exact powers to decide the outcome in a few different scenarios. First up, you, Bruce Almighty, you've been placed in charge of England, Brucey. So you have the power to decide whether two of your former players go to the World Cup. This is interesting.
Oh, God.
Harry Maguire and Jared Bowen.
Oh, that's cruel.
That is cruel. Can I give you my tuppence worth?
Go on.
I think I'm taking both of them. Because
I wouldn't be surprised at both of them. John Stones has not played a lot this year, has he?
Fitness, man.
His fitness levels is going to be key to it. I would like to see both of them in it for obvious reasons. I mean, Jared, I think we've paid 50,000 quid for him from Hereford, you know, and
that's got to be the signing of the decade. Signing of the decade.
And you know what? For Newcastle fans too, I had him at Weatherby Services for 2 hours.
No.
Tried to do a deal before he went to West Ham.
No.
Yes, and I couldn't get it over the line, and unfortunately he went to West Ham. It's the one that really got away, but he was virtually coming to Newcastle, and as I said, couldn't get it over the line.
I just think he's different class. We're talking about it yesterday. Like a coach and a manager, you like stability and you like players that you can rely on and know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I watched Jared Bowen and I watched him at the weekend. He was absolutely terrific at the weekend. You're going to get 7.5 out of 10 every week, I think.
Yeah, and he's got the ability to score a goal from a wide area. I mean, which is crucial to it. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes the fall on you. He was playing as a 16-year-old for Hereford amongst men, and my youth team manager at the time alerted me to him and I said, go and do it. If it's going to cost 50,000 quid or whatever it is, just go and bring him. And soon he's one of them as well. Once he got into the team, he never came out, and he came out. But he's been a wonderful player.
Very interesting to see. I mean, we spoke about it earlier. That the quality that England have got in forward areas, wide areas, you know, number 10. It's just, it's scary, mate.
And of course, we've got an unbelievable number 9, and let's hope he stays fit, because he scores 2 every week.
He's got to stay fit.
Have you seen his record in Germany?
Ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
Somebody said it was 126 goals in 131 games.
Something like that.
It's absolutely incredible. What I would say though is, in the last Euros, he didn't look 100% fit for me towards the end of the tournament, mate.
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't, and we'll never know whether he was carrying something, because the one thing about Harry Kane, he plays week in and week out.
Turns up.
Unbelievable.
Turns up.
And what a goal scorer he is, and he's proved it now by going to Germany and smashing every record.
He's been fantastic. Next one, we're moving on, mate.
Okay.
Do you give Liam Senior some of your almighty power, not just to become a puppet for the Chelsea ownership? It's an interesting one, right? Because a lot of people automatically, rightly or wrongly, think that's what he's going to be.
Come on, give him a bit of respect.
Yeah.
And of course, listen, Chelsea have got their own way, and their feeder club was Strasbourg. He's been in charge of them, made a fist of it at Hull. Look, he's been given a wonderful opportunity, and probably the way Chelsea are, in the way they're going to run the club, and the way they're going to pick their coach or their head coach and all the rest of it, he's a little bit more stronger than what people might think he is, and he's new to it. He's been given a wonderful opportunity. Give him that respect that he deserves, because I don't think he's going to be anybody's puppet.
I don't think he can be.
You can't be when you're managing or head coach.
Yeah.
You have to have the ability to take over the dressing room and have their trust and whatever it really takes. And listen, he's new on the block in terms of experience. He's got a little bit under his belt, but he's made a fist of it, as I said, in Strasbourg, and he hasn't had a bad start to it already. So let's cut him a bit of slack, give him the opportunity. It's great to see an Englishman given a job abroad for a start, and then it's great to see a young English coach being given a chance, because I keep saying this about young English coaches, and I've seen them in the lower divisions, and some of the jobs that they do is quite remarkable and never seem to get an opportunity. We give a young foreign coach an opportunity in the Premier League, but never seem to promote our own. It's very difficult for a young English manager. Usually an English manager has got to take a team into the Premier League, i.e. get them promoted from the Championship in. Very difficult to see past that, but we give the opportunity to young coaches from abroad.
I agree with you, mate. Interesting, when we spoke about the top of the title, to win the title, Arsenal, how difficult it is to go over the line for your first one, right? I appreciate that. I get that. I totally understand it, and time will tell. I think we're in for a great race. I want to take you down the bottom end, mate.
Oh.
What's it going to take? Now, it's maybe wrong of me to make the assumption, and if it is wrong of me to tell me that it might be too late for Wolves and Burnley. Right?
Yep.
That's just my opinion at this moment in time.
Yep.
What does it take to stay up? What does it take West Ham or Forest or indeed our Palace in it?
Well, the clubs I've been in the Premier League, and I'm going to take out Newcastle because we arrived and there was chat, but at Birmingham, Hull, where you know you've took a team into the league, you know it's all about can you stay up the next year, and how do you stay up? And first of all, you look at it and think you probably need 10 wins, which gives you 30 points. Then you're probably going to draw 5 or 6 or 7, gives you 37. Now you think that's quite achievable. 10 wins, it's quite achievable. And then you break it down and think, I've got to win every 3 and a bit game. I've got to win one of them every 3. And you've got Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, all of a sudden on the horizon. And then it becomes difficult. I have to say at the moment, I fear a little bit for Crystal Palace. From where they were 6 months ago and winning the league, winning the FA Cup, and all of a sudden, if Notts Forest turn them over at the weekend, then you know the vibe coming out of Crystal Palace is not great, is it?
The talent they've lost. I mean,
and the talent,
Olise, Anderson, Gay. Looks like the big fella Mateta wants away. The manager wants away.
Yeah, it's it doesn't bode well for them at the moment. West Ham have had a couple of back-to-back victories just when they need it, because we're all thinking, what's them doing? All of a sudden they've signed a couple of players, whether that's give them a spark. So it's going to be really, really fascinating.
Well, bearing in mind, Bruce, we've just said, I think the last couple of years, the 3 promoted sides have went down, right?
Yep.
We appreciate nowadays more than ever how difficult it is for the promoted sides. Bearing that in mind, what about Sunderland?
Wow. Well, that is the story so far for me for the Premier League. They've spent a few quid, I have to say. They've been given the opportunity to spend a few quid, but then again, so does everybody else have a few quid to spend. You know, they've done it really, really wisely. They've performed fantastic. Arguably, Granit Xhaka is the signing of the season so far. He's been terrific in all sorts of stats you look at. He's the top of the league in everything he's done for Sunderland. Got a lot of group of young players and put him in the middle of it and give them that little bit of experience. Been an absolutely wonderful season. Of course, they've got to build on it and keep going. And I have to say, I was impressed. I was impressed with Leeds. All of a sudden, they stumbled on a formation.
Calvert-Lewin's been excellent,
and Calvert-Lewin all of a sudden's got 6, 7. It looks fit as a fiddle. Whereas the last couple of years he's struggled a little bit with it. But I think they've only lost 1 in 10, something like that. So they've got a consistency about them. So fascinating watch, just as fascinating for me to watch at the bottom end as it is at the top.
Absolutely, it's been brilliant, mate. Listen, you enjoyed it this morning?
I've enjoyed it immensely.
Bruce, it's been great having you on, mate. Hopefully we'll do that again soon. Big thanks to Bruce this morning. You'll be hearing plenty more from across the talkSPORT network. So that is clearly good news for everyone. Now, do not forget, tomorrow we've got a huge show for you. Gabby's alongside me as we react to all the football tonight. Some fantastic games tonight. And we're going to be joined by some great guests, including former United defender Phil Jones, Masters champion, former Dip Masters champion Danny Willett. We have thoroughly enjoyed it this morning. Thanks so much for your company. We're looking forward to seeing you again at 6 a.m. Stay with us because Jim and Simon are coming next. Thanks again.